All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to Abba and Shamin. In the name of Yahuah HaMashiach. We'll pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. And if I come in my Abba's name, you receive me not. And if another come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writing, how should you believe my words? All esteem and praise to Abba and Shamaim in the name of Yahuah HaMashiach. Come on, so Obadiah, verse 17.
But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be Kadash, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions.
Shalom, Brother Marvin.
And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, the house of Joseph a flame, the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them.
That's right.
And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahuah has spoken.
Indeed.
And they of the south shall possess
Shalom,
the
Brother Harrison, man. Shalom, Brother Joseph.
And they of the plain, the Philistines, and they shall possess the fields of Ephraim, and the fields of Samaria, and Benjamin shall possess Gilead, and the captivity of this host of the children of Yasharal shall possess that of the Canaanites, even unto Zarephath, and the captivity of Jerusalem,
indeed,
which is in Sapharath, shall possess the cities of the south.
Peace, Brother Omar, man.
And Savior shall come up on Mount Zion, and judge the Mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be Yahuah.
Now, we was in the book of Esther, right? Trying to knock out Esther too, right? And I think we stopped on the aspect of talking about the young virgins. I think we still got a little bit of game to add on to that. You feel me? And then on top of that, so let's come over here to Esther 2 and 1, and let it begin.
After these things, when the wrath of King Xerxes was appeased, he remembered Vashti and what she had done, and what was decreed against her. Then said the king's servants that ministered unto him,
what is it?
Let there be fair young virgins sought for the king.
Pause. Now we talk about fair young virgins being sought for the king. We didn't get over there Wednesday. Come to Psalms 45, you did. So if we came on here, right, I was just telling Sylvia, right, because I was talking to my mans about this. Psalms 45 one, by the way. That's a little further down of what we're looking for, but it's all gravy. You know what I'm saying? Because I just seen my man, Shalom, Sister Regina, my man was like, Russia going to destroy America, and then Israel, and it's going to be over. I'm going to tell you something real, and I ain't telling you this because I genuinely care about the United States. Shalom, Jay, the United States of America. I'm just telling you this from a strategic war standpoint. Man, ain't nobody running up over here, bro. Slow down. Ain't nobody running up over here, man. And they're not running up over here because they scared of America. You know what I'm saying? Because America does have an elite fighting force. Let's not get that twisted. You know what I'm saying? Because most of us haven't even been alive for a true military ground offensive. You know what I'm saying? People be getting on some other type of time because they dropping missiles and using drones. Ain't no troops on the ground. It's not a real war until boots hit the ground. And you can ask anybody who's ever been in the military, Shalom Mika, about that. Like straight up and down. Because, you know, sending a few jets, and, you know, God forbid for those families if the fighter jet pilot gets taken down. But soldiers are more concerned if you send me to an area and we got boots on the ground. You know what I'm talking about? Because that's a real war, my G. You know what I'm saying? That's a real war. Like real deal conflict, if you would. But the number one reason why ain't nothing gonna happen over here, man, is just simply because where we're located versus the countries that do not like us. So if anything was that, I've told y'all this in the past, if anything happens on United States soil, it's because they let it happen. Because you have the Pacific Ocean, you have the Atlantic Ocean, you have Mexico and Canada. For any country to be able to invade the United States of America, they would have to invade Mexico and Canada first. And here's the kicker. Let's just say Canada and Mexico let them in. There's no way they could get there without these people knowing that they're there. You know what I'm saying? Because they're coming from the other side of the world. If they try to come with Navy ships, you know what's going to happen? You have a naval blockade. You have the Coast Guard. They're not going to get there and don't nobody know they're coming. You think they're going to be able to fly fighter jets and things of this nature? They're not going to be able to get here without them people knowing they're coming. It's not very many countries that have ballistic nuclear missiles that could even launch and land over here. And even with that, that's only going to hit one strategic area. Then you're neglecting to take into account, shalom, Brother Robert, there are 50 states in America. That's 50 different constitutions with 50 different national guards, with a multitude of people who live in them, who are armed. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is when you take your emotions out of it and you just think about it for what it is. And then if a country was to try to strike here, the United States military has military installations all across the Eastern Hemisphere. You understand? So they would be able to counteract quite swiftly if something like that happened. But the main barrier why that's not necessarily something you would have to have a concern with is the water, man. You cannot strategically attack somebody and there's a massive body of water separating you from them. And they don't know you're coming. Now, I do believe that if we were in close proximity to the countries that have an issue with this country, they would have already ran up in here. So, you know what I'm saying? It's not American might or exceptionalism or Caucasian fear. It's just that you're not accessible. Like, do y'all understand how far it is? And talk to a merchant seaman who has rowed a boat from the United States of America overseas and tell them how long it take to get over there. You know what I'm saying? Whether they rowed a seafaring vessel from California to the Asian coast, or from Florida or Louisiana, or whatever the case may be, to get to Africa. That's not a short travel. That's not somewhere you're going to get in a matter of hours to surprise somebody on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, even right here in Jacksonville, Florida, man, at Mayport Naval Base, that is a nuclear naval base. There is a nuclear sub there. Now, this is contingent if everything was on the up and up. Let's make that clear. You know what I'm talking about? Now, me personally, I believe something will eventually happen on this soil, and I believe that they will let it happen. Just like they did with Pearl Harbor. That's just me. Psalms 45:1.
My heart is inditing a good matter. I speak of the things which I have made touching the king. Mm-hmm. My tongue is the pen of a ready writer.
Your tongue is a what?
The pen of a ready writer.
Don't give him the ready writer, man.
Ready is mahir, quick, prompt, skilled. Ready.
My tongue is that of a skilled writer, which is the same word as used for a skilled scribe. What's writer there?
Safar, you got to count, to recount, to relate.
So my tongue is my heart is inditing a good matter. I want you to explain to them what inditing is in the language, if you would.
That is rakash, to keep moving, to stir.
So my heart is stirred to speak a good matter. I want you to come over here to Jeremiah, where Jeremiah says something along those lines. I believe it's Jeremiah 20. Let me make sure. That ain't it. But you can read verse 14 just because. Jeremiah 20:14.
Cursed be the day wherein I was born. Let not the day wherein my mother bare me be bereaved. Cursed be the man who brought tidings to my father, saying, a man-child is born unto you, making him very glad.
Very glad.
That man be as the cities which Yahuah overthrew and repented not.
No, we finna come up on it. Go what up verse I told you to start at?
14.
No, go up some. Go to verse 5. I knew I wasn't tripping.
Moreover, I will deliver all the strength of this city and the labors thereof and the precious things thereof and all the treasures of the king.
Verse 7. We don't need all that. Jeremiah 20:7. Hold on. He said, I know it's a good chance that America has enemies strategic. Now we do have enemies probably here as sleeper cells. But what I'm referring to, Dap, is if you're talking about like destabilizing a country or overthrowing it or overtaking it, a sleeper cell ain't gonna be able to do that. That's just gonna be a terrorist plot. You know, it's gonna cause some damage in a particular area, but you wouldn't actually be able to overthrow and overtake the country. You know what I'm saying? Case in point, when they went to Iraq and they overthrew Saddam Hussein, and then America runs it now. You know what I'm saying? I think sometimes just like on sheer size, like look, and this is looking at it from a strategic military standpoint, we underestimate how large of a country this is. You know what I'm talking about? Besides the fact, let's just case in point, how large Texas is, how large California is, you know what I'm saying? And the amount of people who live there. And let's just say, okay, you overthrow DC. So what you overthrow DC? Now you're going to have to come and overthrow Cali. Now you're going to have to come through and overthrow Texas. Now you're going to have to come through and overthrow Florida. You know what I'm saying? And you have to strategically overthrow 50 states simultaneously to properly execute that. You know what I'm saying? This is straight from a military strategic standpoint. Shalom, Miguel. That's going to be difficult to do because you're going to need a massive amount of manpower to pull that off. You know what I'm saying? It would be the same way if you go into China. You know what I'm saying? Like facts. Like Israel's the size of New Jersey. So the ability to take over Israel is not going to be very difficult if an individual want to do that. The same way if you go to China. You know what I'm saying? China is massive. And then it's a mountainous regions at that. Then you got the leverage with that. It would be hard for a country to come into China and overthrow it. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that it'd have to be an inside job. I'll be 100% real with you. It'd have to be. That's the only way I can see that happening. It'd have to. Take Russia. Russia is massive. Then you take the weather, the climate, the mountains. That's why people always had a difficult time taking out the Afghanis because it was a mountainous region. You know what I'm saying? Every people who's ever ran up into Afghanistan always had a problem. That's why it was different in Vietnam. Like that was a guerrilla war, and that's a very difficult war to win when you fighting civilians along with the military. You know what I'm saying? I was just mentioning that I seen people, shoot the White House, Iran, don't mess with us. Man, you ain't got to worry about Iran doing nothing. You know what I'm talking about? Not over here. Because Iran can't get over here. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't get over here if they wanted to. Yeah, they couldn't get over here if they wanted to. Facts. You can't bring in no goods in the mountains, no ammunition. You know what I'm saying? No heavy artillery, which gives the people who are familiar with the terrain an extreme advantage. You know what I'm saying? An extreme advantage. But I know that's things that obviously a lot of us ain't in the military. You don't even think about. But I mean, you don't have to be in the military to know that. If you just pause and just look at stuff like when you look at, you say compared to all those countries, Israel was made to be invaded. That's a fact. When you look at World War I, it wasn't fought over here. Nobody even came close to attacking here. You know what I'm saying? You look at World War II. If you do your research, you'll see that they knew Japan was coming to strike Pearl Harbor, and they let it happen. And of all the places that they struck, the only thing that they could strike was a naval base in Hawaii. And of course, the United States government let that happen because they wanted to get into World War II. And what was World War II fought? It wasn't fought over here. And no country even attempted or even contemplated fighting over here. Because logistically and financially, that's a difficult deal. You know what I'm talking about? It's a difficult deal. It'll take God putting in the hearts of certain men to do certain things to take their place down, right? You know what I'm saying? If you're talking about God not being involved, Yahuah not being involved, and just straight ahead up fade, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because America is so great. It's just simply because where it is located compared to your enemies. Now, see, if Mexico and Canada was your enemies, then you have a problem. Because then those particular countries can slide, you know what I'm saying, troops over here with them to prepare for that type of offensive, which would mean that the United States would have to beef up their military. The thing that'll tear down the United States more than anything is that their military is spread too thin. But that's a whole nother conversation. Come on with it, man. 20 and 7.
He said, "Oh, Yahuah, you have deceived me, and I was deceived. You are stronger than I, and have prevailed. I am in derision daily. Everyone mocked me. For since I spake,
I cried out.
I cried violence and spoil, because the word of Yahuah was made a reproach unto me and a derision.
By Elohim, why have you forsaken me? If you be the son of God, come down off that tree, man. You know what I'm talking about? Come on.
And then I said I would not make mention of him,
nor
speak any more in his name.
But
his word was in my heart
as a what?
Burning fire.
Shut up in my what?
My bones.
I was weary with what?
Forbearing.
And he said, I what?
I could not stay.
He said, I can't stop. I'm reading that because he said, my heart is indicting of a good matter. I'm ready to tell it. You know what I'm saying? Jeremiah said, man, these people persecute me doing X, Y, Z. Man, I ain't finna say nothing. He said, but when I tried not to say nothing, my heart burned. I couldn't stay. I had to do it. Listen, verse 10 on general principle.
For I heard the defaming of many, fear on every side.
I heard the what?
The defaming.
Tell them what that means in Hebrew. Y'all know what defame mean in English, though.
As the ball, whispering, defamation, evil report.
That evil report, defaming, cast out the scorner. You know what I'm talking about? Meaning, that's the devil. That's what they were doing to the Lord when he was being crucified. Listen, man, when it comes down to stuff like that, you can't care nothing about that, man. You know what I'm talking about? You can't care nothing about that, man. Nigga make their mouth free. People gonna say whatever about you. If you get to the point in your life where you are overly concerned about what people saying about you, man, and you know it ain't true, then you got an issue. You got an issue. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I was telling y'all Wednesday when we were talking about the nurturing thing, and I was telling, you know what I'm saying, my dog that today, like, because I don't think I mentioned this Wednesday, I mentioned this now. Because it clicked in my brain. Can a woman nurture you? Absolutely. But you know when that would usually happen? That woman would have to get with you when you were young. You know what I'm saying? Because I can say, because remember, this is aid into your growth and development. You know what I'm saying? If she don't catch you when you young, because I'm mentioning this here because the thought process, this is one, either your daddy, your mama, or your granddaddy, or your grandma. One of these folk, maybe an auntie and an uncle too, but chiefly one of these folk should have taught you that you can't be concerned what people say about you, especially if you know it ain't true. That thought process of wanting to fight and correct and say something because somebody said something about you, man, you're going to drive yourself crazy. And I'm mentioning that because it shows that your growth and development is stunted because you are hinging and hanging on the thoughts and opinions of other people. So when you read in the text, when he said, hey, they said this here and I ain't say a word, I'm just bringing it back to something we done went over before because the Lord didn't care nothing about that. I don't have no need to correct that. Especially if you know they lying. David did the same thing. Y'all know Jacob did the same thing. Because I'm gonna tell you something, it's gonna end up, it's kind of a, you know, as it says in Proverbs, it's a twofold thing. You know, correct the fool in his folly, lest he be wise in his own conceits. You know what I'm saying? Or answer not a fool for his folly, lest you be seen like a fool. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have the wisdom to know when to be quiet and when to say something. Because as we talked about a few weeks back, right? And it wasn't a few weeks, well, I mean, it's some weeks back. When it was looking like when the scribes always came and stepped to the Lord. You feel me? What was they doing that for? Niggas be doing that so you can go to trying to defend yourself so they can catch you in your speech and have means to accuse you. You know what I'm saying? And you can't get caught up in that. Because that's what they doing it for. And you have to learn to be able to subside your natural inclination to want to defend yourself. Just on general principle, Civic, 1 Peter 1:19. Because I'm mentioning this because he said he heard defaming on every side. And he's going to tell you the other things that he had. And then we'll get back to it.
Both the precious blood of a Mashiach as of a lamb without blemish and without spot, who truly was
1:19. Oh, there's 2:19. 2:21. My bad. 1 Peter 2:21. My bad.
For even hereunto were you called, because Mashiach also suffered for us, leaving us an example that you should follow his steps.
Follow his steps.
Who did no sin, neither was guile found in his mouth.
That's right.
Who, when he was reviled not again.
That's right.
When he suffered, he threatened not.
That's right.
He committed himself to him that judged righteously.
That's right.
Who his own self bare our sins in his own body on the tree.
Why?
That we, being dead to sin, should live unto righteousness, by whose stripes you were healed.
That's right.
For you as sheep going astray, but are now returned unto the shepherd and bishop of your soul.
That's good. And what did he tell you? That he committed himself to he who judges righteously. You have to commit yourself to God. You know what I'm saying? You know, just mention this here, right? There's just hawking in the back. There's something that little Johnny asked a couple weeks back, like, how do you balance this life and the word? You can't. You can't. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it. It's not possible. You know what I'm saying? It's not possible. Because I'm only mentioning this not because of me, because Muffin reference asked me about that. But then also we were talking about this last night about the things that Solomon said as it pertains to the things of this life and vanity. Because I was talking with my mans yesterday. You know what I'm saying? About what I mentioned to y'all, like, you know, one of my old lady cousins asking, like, you know, what son your sport your son gonna play? Now. Because my man seen it, Yoshi seen it the same way I see it, right? I do not subscribe to the thought process that the number one thing a black boy can do is do something physical as if he doesn't have a brain. You know what I'm saying? My first thought process of looking at my son wasn't how I could foster his physical ability to entertain people. My first thought process is what can I be able to do to foster his intellectual acumen, his ability to be able to be valuable to his people first and foremost. You know what I'm talking about? To where he can be able to do something substantial that has nothing to do with entertaining Caucasians. This is just my thought process. This ain't got to be yours. You know what I'm talking about? And I know that'll be wild for some people from somebody who actually watches and enjoys sporting events, but that's not something that I want for my son. Never have. You know what I'm talking about? I have never thought in my lifetime, if I have a son, I want him to play basketball, football, baseball, none of that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know some of the things that the men in his bloodline have done. Now, add on the side of his mama's side of the family, hey, you know, I was telling Muffin this here, like, I wouldn't particularly desire for my son to go into law enforcement, but guess what? Both of his grandfathers were law enforcement officers. Multiple people on my father's side of the family were law enforcement officers. His great-grandfather was in the military. His great-uncle is in the military. So these are some of the, because you know, I've told you before, I had the thought process of what your forefathers had in the word. Your son will take on the vocation and the occupation that you have. You know what I'm saying? That's what they did in ancient antiquity. That was the culture. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at it and you see Yahuah being a carpenter, what do carpenters do? Build a house, and you look at his father as the wisest master builder to ever build. You know what I'm talking about? You say, yeah, chess club, spelling bee, STEM. He said, I love sport, but yeah, that's about. Yeah, man, I ain't even had no thought about putting my son in those sports because he has a mind. You know what I'm saying? He has a mind. Now, that's not to say there's nothing wrong if that's what you want to, word. There's nothing wrong if there's something that you want to, if you have a desire for them to play sports per se. I just have a different thought process when it pertains to that. You feel me? Because my son has a mind. And the first thing that when people look at a young, so-called African-American, Negro, black boy is how he can perform athletically for the entertainment of others. And my son is not an entertainer. He has a mind. I mean, he has a mind that if cultivated properly, can do many a thing. And playing for these crackers ain't one of them. You know what I'm talking about? Not for me. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, I don't have a desire to send my son to be guided, led, instructed by a Caucasian in any shape, form, or fashion. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? But again, I'm speaking for me. You know what I'm talking about? You do not have to hold to this thought process. Read 1 John 5:19 that little Johnny put out there. Because it's difficult, because you got to remember what the text say. Where your heart is, your treasure will be also. You know what I'm saying? And then also the kicker. He told you, amen, so not among the thorns. That's what he told you in Hosea. You know what I'm saying? And what it is, you know, dig up your fallow ground, because you could get caught up with the cares and affairs of this life real quickly. And when that happens, it's going to choke off the word and you're not going to produce the fruit. And this is not me saying it. This is what your God's saying. And that's what sometimes we look at stuff like that and you think, that's just his opinion. Nah, bro, that's what your God said. Now, you can take that and you can do whatever you want to with it. You know what I'm saying? But if I know that he's making a definitive statement that this is the outcome, if you do this, then I know it ain't going to end no other way but the way that he said it's going to end. And there's no way that I can finagle it, finesse it, move it to make it end any different than what he said was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? That's just a level of acceptance that okay, that's what it is then. If he say, hey, man, this what's going to happen, then that's what's going to happen. He said it's going to be hard to turn that spark off if you leave with that too heavy. Indeed, it definitely is. They trying to go to the league versus learning team building. And listen, I ain't mad at nobody, whatever, because them your churn. I can't tell you what to do with your churn. You know what I'm talking about? I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do with mine. That's one thing I can tell you. I can't tell you. Shalom, Brother Mark. I can't tell you what to do with your churn. I'm going to tell you what to do with mine, though. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can do. And that's where stuff come in at, because sometimes, and that's why I always repeat that, saying I'm speaking for myself, because people take when you say certain things that you running that for everybody. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm speaking for me. This is my personal perspective. I ain't saying this is God's perspective. This is my perspective. You understand what I'm telling you? You don't have to adopt that if you don't want to adopt it. But this is my perspective. My son got a brain. You know what I'm saying? And his brain can perform any task that I allow him to believe that he can achieve, or the thing that I introduce him to. You know what I'm saying? I ain't thinking about handing him no football. I'm not thinking about handing him a baseball bat. I'm not thinking about handing him a basketball. There's other things that I would desire for him to do. If you hand your son a basketball, guess what? Ain't nothing wrong with that. If you hand him a football, ain't nothing wrong with that. You hand him a baseball bat, ain't nothing wrong with that. If that's what if you tell him, let's go. Now, this is different, though. I think every young man should be enrolled in some type of combat skill to have the ability to whoop somebody's behind if necessary. You know what I'm talking about? Whether that's boxing, jiu-jitsu, karate, I wouldn't care. New nigga jitsu, it wouldn't matter. And that he should know how to shoot a gun. I think that's just regular life stuff. You know what I'm saying? If he want to compete, fine. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's regular life stuff. He should know how to physically defend himself and handle a weapon. You know what I'm talking about? But as forfeit, whatever, man, you got to realize that that's your kids, man. And just because somebody holds a particular perspective doesn't mean you're a bad parent if you hold a different perspective. And that's something that a lot of people get caught up on, because this person holds this perspective. You think you a bad parent because you don't. No, that means you just view the world from a different lens, and that is okay. You know what I'm saying? As long as it don't go against God, because, who is anybody to say anything? He said, as of late, I've been working on teaching my boys martial arts and physical fitness, because they don't even think about sports like that. They just, most of the time they're going to want to see what you do. You want to do what you do. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes they get bit with the sports bug. You know what I'm talking about? Like I mentioned, I was just reading an article today. We talking about Nepo babies and wrestling. But you look at wrestling, it's multiple generations. Like Rock is third generation. Randy Orton is like second, third generation. Cody Rhodes is second generation. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what they daddies did and granddaddies did. So they follow in suit. That's normal. You know what I'm saying? That's normal. That just always tricked me out when I see people complaining, talking about somebody done created a business and they put their son in, and that's nepotism. You jackass, what you think he made it for? You think he created it to let a stranger run it? That's how retarded people is. This man probably literally created something, and when he had a son, spent his son's entire childhood prepping, preparing him, and priming him to be able to walk in my footsteps and take this over. Matter of fact, read this for me, man. Come over here to Luke. Y'all know what we're going to read now, right? But yeah, like we're going to read 1 John 5:19 in a second. But I said, man, because like when Lil Johnny asked that, right? That's not a crazy question. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely very plausible and very relatable. You know what I'm saying? Come on, Luke 15:11. You feel me? It's just the aspect of, because you think you can balance it out, but you really can't. Because when this man tell you in your law, you got to love him with your whole heart, your whole mind, your whole soul. That's what he means. So And of course, I mentioned it because we were talking about this last night, like how Solomon talking about this is vanity, this is vanity, this is vexation of spirit. You know what I'm saying? Because what me and Yoshi were talking about is like, you sit back and you look at, you accrue these things, and what did it matter? It don't really matter. You know what I'm saying? It matters because we allow, desire. I don't necessarily want to say covetousness because everybody ain't covetous, but at the same token, that word means desire. You allowing your desire for X, Y, Z to pull you away from what's actually what you're here for. You know what I'm talking about? And it's real easy for it to happen. And then because this stuff is natural, because as a man and as a woman, you have certain thoughts, dreams, desires, hopes, ambitions, whatever adjective you want to use to do certain things. And then when people get in the word, because people get in the word and they want you to believe, not necessarily that y'all think like that you can have it all. You know what I'm saying? And we talked about this in the past. They don't really focus on the fact that this man say you got to take up your stake daily and follow him, that there is a sacrifice. But the sacrifice that people don't want to sacrifice monetary. That's what people say, it's the poverty stuff. That man told you to take heed and beware of covetousness because a man's life don't consist of the abundance of things that he possesses. So he dropping a jewel on him. We can read that too. Go ahead and read them, Luke 15 and 11. I'm mainly the parable that come after that.
And he said, a certain man had 2 sons, and the younger of them said to his father,
what he said?
But give me the portion of goods that fall to me. And he divided them unto his living. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country. And there wasted his substance with riotous living. And when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in the land, and he began to be in want. And he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into his fields to feed swine. And he would fain have filled his belly with the husk that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. When he came to himself, he said, how many hired servants of my father's have bread enough to spare, and not perish with hunger? I will arise and go to my father, and will say unto him, Abba, I have sinned against Shammai before you, and am no more worthy to be called your son.
Calm down.
Make me as one of your hired servants. And he arose and came to his father. But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion, and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him.
What he said?
And the son said unto him, Abba, I have sinned against Shammai and in your sight, and am no more worthy to be called your son.
What else?
But the father said to his servants, bring forth the best robe, put it on him, put a ring on his hand, and shoes on his feet, and bring here the fatted calf, and let us eat and be merry. For this my son was dead and is alive again.
Listen,
he was lost and is found, and they began to be merry.
Go ahead.
Now his elder son was in the field, and as he came and drew near to the house, he heard music and dancing, and he called one of the servants and asked what these things meant. And he said unto him, your brother is come, and your father hath killed the fatted calf, because he had received him safe and sound. And he was angry and would not go in. Therefore came his father out and entreated him.
Go ahead.
And he answered and said to his father, lo, these many years do I serve you, neither transgressed I at any time your commandment, and yet you never gave me a kid, that I might make merry with my friends. But as soon as this your son was come, which have devoured your living with harlots, you have killed for him the fatted calf.
That's right.
And he said unto him, son, you are ever with me, and all that I have is yours.
All that I have is yours.
It was meet that we should make merry and be glad, for this your brother was dead and is alive again, and was lost and is found.
Now you know why we read that? Because he said everything I have is yours. Now Luke 12, it tell you that it's your father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. The same token what the Lord said in Matthew 16, what good is a man if he gain the whole world and lose his soul? What can a man give in exchange for his soul? That statement alone lets you know you can't sell your soul. What you do is you give your members over to whom you will obey. You know what I'm talking about? But you can't sell it because it ain't yours to sell. Read it, Luke 12 and 15.
And he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consists not in the abundance of the things which he possesses.
He said, take heed and what?
Beware of covetousness.
Because a man's life
consists not in the abundance of the things which he possesses.
What did he say after that?
He spake a parable unto them, saying,
what's the parable he spake?
The ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully, And he thought within himself, saying, "What shall I do? Because I have no room where to bestow my fruit."
I ain't got nowhere to put this
and
stuff.
He said, "This will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater.
I'm gonna build big,
and there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods."
That's what I'm gonna do.
And I will say to my soul, "Soul, you have much goods laid up for many years.
Many years.
Take your ease, eat, drink, and be merry."
Be merry, baby.
But Elohim said unto him,
"Thou fool!
This night your soul shall be required of you. Then who shall those things be which you have provided?"
Who you gonna give it to? Now you dead. Guess what that is? It's all. Let's go to Ecclesiastes. It's all vanity and what? Vexation of spirit. You know what I'm talking about? Because he said you did all that. Now you dead. Who you gonna leave it to, cuz? That's what he say. Tell me that. Riddle me that. That's a hard reality right there. You feel me? 2 and 1, man. That's a hard reality, bro. Go ahead.
I said in my heart, "Go to down, and I will prove you with mirth. Therefore enjoy pleasure, and behold, this also is vanity."
I said of laughter.
It is mad.
And of mirth.
What do it?
He said, man, tell him what mad means. He said of laughter. I said it was mad.
That is halal, to shine. To shine figuratively of Elohim's favor, to flash forth light, to praise, boast, to be boastful.
He said of laughter, it's boastful.
Or you got to make a fool of, to act madly, to act like a madman.
To act like a madman. They said of laughter, it make you a fool. And of mirth, what does, and he said, if you're happy, what that's going to do? He said, I sought in my heart to do what?
Give myself on the wine.
Yet acquainted my heart with wisdom.
And to lay hold on.
Till I might see.
What was that good for the sons of men?
Which they should do.
Under Shamahim all the days of their life.
I made me great works.
I built me houses.
I planted me vineyards.
I made me gardens and orchards.
I planted trees.
In them and all kinds of fruit.
I made me pools of water.
To water there with the wood that bring forth trees.
I got me servants.
And maidens.
And I had servants.
Born in my house.
And I had great possessions.
Of great and small cattle, of all that were in Jerusalem before me.
I gathered me also silver.
And gold and the peculiar treasure of kings and of the provinces.
I got me men singers.
And women singers.
And the delights
of the sons of men.
as musical
instruments.
And that of
all sorts.
So I was great.
And increased more than all that were before me in Jerusalem.
And what and that and
so also my wisdom remained with me.
And whatsoever my eyes
desired, I kept not from them.
I withheld
not my heart from any joy.
For my heart rejoiced.
In all my labor, and this was my portion of all my
Then
labor.
I looked on all
the works that my hands had wrought,
and on all
the labor that I had labored,
and behold,
all was vanity and vexation of ruach.
And there was what?
No profit under the sun.
Now, man, that's tough, man. That man sat back and said, boy, I'm balling, boy. That's what he just said, boy, I'm balling, boy. We living good, you hear me? And he said, man, I sat back and looked at all this stuff, man, and I say, man, this is all for nothing and a vexation of my spirit. This is part of, and you know why we really read that, man? Because this man says simple as this, is that take heed and beware of covetousness, because your life don't consist of this. Because effectively, this is what he just told you. Solomon did. He took a long winding road to say what Yahuah said very concisely. It's not to say that you can't have those things. You know what I'm saying? It's just telling you that they came to this conclusion. Your life don't consist of this. And for some people, that's what you shooting after in life, and that's cool. But then when you hear, case in point, and of course, I don't know all the details of this here, right? But you can kind of see that when you look at whatever the heck, because I catch pieces of it here and there. Whatever you see what 50 Cent and T.I. got going on. You see T.I. steady post photographs of his family. And 50 might troll, but guess what? The reality, that wealth that individuals look at of having the loving, caring family, that man don't got that. You got all that bread. You got all these accolades. You got all these things. And guess what? Nigga could go to the house and be empty as hell because you only see the parts that people want you to see. You know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with the internet, you only see the parts that people want you to see. Get out of that freezer. And people don't take that into account. Yeah, nigga gonna want you to see him shining and smiling and this, that, there, and the third. He don't want you to see you go home. Damn, my son hate me. I love this woman, and Puffy was slutting her out. I ain't got nobody. I really don't trust the people that's around me for real. That's a miserable way to live. You know what I'm talking about? And of course, because we poke, you think, well, shoot, he get to jump in the such and such and do this, and he got that. Nigga might be sitting at the house and be like, man, this ain't hitting on nothing. Because only really, you know, pure and utter degenerates and sociopaths don't care about stuff that normal human beings care about. Well, I got me this money. Them people be miserable because they know nobody don't really fool with them. Now, of course, they know that nobody don't really fool with them because some of them are terrible people. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that 50 Cent might be a terrible person. But when you got that type of bread around you, you got to tell you know what I'm saying? And what you got going on, you really realize, man, I don't know none of these people fool with me for real. And you know that because of how big he is on individuals being loyal to him. Because when you didn't have a lot of people do you dirty, you know what I'm saying? You end up being isolated. Yeah, you're used to the money at that point. And once you get used to it, the allure goes away. Like I said, see, all us poor. When I say that, I'm talking about in comparison to them. You ain't got 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, $100 million. You know what I'm saying? So to you, you'll be like, oh, I'll be this, that, there, and the third. But this man been rich for over 20 years now. You get used to it. You get used to it. You get used to it. Shalom, Brother Ernest, man. And when you get used to it, it don't hold that same pull and allure that it did when you ain't have it. Yeah, and you know, it answers all things like the text tell you. But it ain't gonna fix that hole in your soul, boy. Come on, read me. Do I need that? No, we don't need that. Read them Ecclesiastes 5 and 11. Yeah, it's definitely not gonna fulfill you. People think it do, but it really don't.
When goods increase, they are increased that eat them, and what good is there to the owners thereof, saving the beholders of them with their eyes.
He say, what good is it to the owners thereof? You know what I'm saying? If it increased, what good is that to you? See, these are things to consider. Read in 1 John 5 and 19 real time.
Saying, we know that we are of Elohim, and the whole world lying in wickedness.
Giving world and wickedness just on the strength. Y'all know what world is. It's just on general principle. So we got to get back on track. Yeah, close the door because they can definitely hear her because she loud. Hey, don't come in here with that, Joanne.
That's cosmos. We got an apt and harmonious arrangement or constitution, order or government. We got ornament, decoration, adornment, the arrangement of the stars, the heavenly hosts, as the ornaments of Shamayim. We got the world, the universe, the circle of the earth, the inhabitants of the earth, men, the human family, the ungodly multitude.
The ungodly multitude.
The whole mass of men alienated from Elohim.
The whole mass of men separated from God.
Therefore hostile to the cause of Moses.
So they become hostile to it. Now I'm mentioning this here because once you're alienated and separated from God, you're going to be more inclined to participate in idolatry, i.e. covetousness or idols in your own heart or actually worshiping an idol. We're going to deal with that there in a moment also because we had a conversation about that also. It won't allow you to be that fair virgin that's suitable for the king. Because that's where there's no room for any balance. Because with Yahuah, there's no such thing as balance. That's a man thing. You know what I'm saying? Men are seeking to, how can I balance this and how can I balance that? Yahuah is a all in, all out type of thing. Max Crosby getting sent to the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? That's just how that works. You know what I'm saying? Like for real. And people don't consider that. Because again, I referenced that from Deuteronomy 6 and 4. That man said you got to love him with the whole mind, heart, soul, and strength. Yahushua referenced that and said that's the greatest commandment. So when you look at that, if you have to love him with the whole, the entirety, where is there room for balance in that? There is no room. You know what I'm saying? And what we don't really like to consider is that with Yahuah, there is no gray area. It's either hot or cold, on or off, black or white. There is no gray. See, as flesh and blood, carnal-minded men, we look for the gray because we want certain things to be ambiguous. You know what I'm saying? We want that ambiguity to have the opportunity to fulfill whatever desire that whatever it is that we are desiring at any given time. And with Yahuah, there is no ambiguity. You're either righteous or unrighteous. You're either holy or profane. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. What Yahushua told you, I would rather you be hot or cold than lukewarm, but since you lukewarm, I'm going to spit you out my mouth. It's either or. And that's really why there is no balance. You can't balance the desires of the world and serving God. You can't do both. How do we know this? Because he told you can't serve two masters. Because you're going to love the one and hate the other. You're going to cleave to the one and forsake the other. Can't do it. And people don't be wanting to hear that. He's out here entertaining, say they love the crowd and being on stage. Is that a form of idolatry? For some of them, it can be. You know what I'm saying? For having, you know what I'm talking about? It could be an idol in their heart. But for some of them, they like the validation. They like the adulation. They like the praise. Some of that can be rooted in some type of neurosis and psychosis. And some of it can be rooted in, it's just a boost of their self-esteem. Because a lot of times, we be looking at these famous people and you think these people are well put together, ain't got no issues because you see that they're famous and that you perceive that they have money. But a lot of these people are fragile mentally. You know what I'm saying? Have all manner of issues. This is why a lot of them are alcoholics and drug addicts. Like we was having this conversation the other day. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like some of the most insecure women you'll ever meet is the women that are considered to be extremely beautiful and gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? Like mentally, they got issues. You know what I'm saying? Like they're insecure, they got low self-esteem. That's why they do certain things to seek validation for people telling them how beautiful they are. You know what I'm saying? And usually that's rooted in the fact that nobody really ever sees them for who they are. You know what I'm saying? Certain things might have happened to them when they was a child. You know what I'm saying? Because it's somebody I knew who I grew up with. And nigga mentioned something, and I was like, nigga, I always just seen you. Like, I'm not enamored with how pretty you are. I'm not enamored by that. You know what I'm talking about? Other people, baby, because some men are enamored by that because they want to capture that and procure that just to say they did it. You know what I'm saying? Versus actually looking at an individual and seeing them for who they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just see you for who you are, and you are who you are. And if we down and we cool, regardless if you doing certain things that I may not agree with, it doesn't matter because we friends now. So it doesn't matter. You know what I'm talking about? Because I'm down with you now. I mean, and that's just not because that's a woman. Nigga did that with all our friends. Like, man, hey, man, if that's what you want, you my nigga, I'm riding with you now. It's too late for that. Because if that was an issue for me, I should have stopped fooling with you. You know what I'm talking about? But since I didn't, hey, man, you my nigga then. That just is what it is. But individuals rarely see. I'm talking about, it's for men, just like this is period. And a lot of women, it's very rarely that a man is going to look at an extremely beautiful woman, an extremely attractive woman, and just see her for who she is, because most niggas want to be able to say, I got her. And whatever that looks like to him. You know what I'm talking about? Because sometimes it's not just sexual conquest. It's just be able to say he made her his old lady. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe put a baby in her. You know what I'm saying? In his mom, I got her. You know what I'm saying? And they walk around feeling like this is why they usually and the status usually end up picking the wrong dudes who don't give a damn about them. And they don't generally recognize the people who actually care about them. You know what I'm saying? Because they genuinely feel like they ain't really worth being loved and cared about that in that capacity in the first place. Because of how such a poor self-view that they have of themselves. But you from the outside look at this woman, you think, oh, she's so fine, she's so pretty, she's so beautiful, and you don't want to say nothing to her. You don't realize this is a shattered person you looking at. And all this stuff that you seeing on the outside is just bluster for overcompensation of how poorly they view themselves. You know what I'm saying? But if you ain't never really been around really attractive women, and they can just, it's not no sexual tension of this, that, there, and the third going on, and you can just hear them converse and talk about the things they got going on, man, you'll shed a thug tear out here, my nigga. I ain't gonna tell you no lie, boy. You know what I'm saying? Especially, I ain't hear this much now as I'm older, because when I got older, because, man, I'm selling crack. I ain't trying to sit around y'all. But when we were young, like growing up with some of these chicks, man, going to school with them and sitting down, listening to them, bro, and you'd be like, man, shorty messed up. And a nigga think, boy, you can't get her, and you don't realize, yeah, you can. You know what I'm talking about? Because it ain't what you think it is. Man, growing up hearing chicks talking about how they were touched on, beat on, mama did them like this, that, there, and the third, how they don't really think they that cute, or they didn't think they looked good at a certain period of time, ain't nobody fooled with them, then they blossomed, they're not niggas all in their face, but they still got the self-esteem that they had before they blossomed. Man, I'm trying to tell you, man. This is before niggas get grown and start having negative experiences with the opposite gender. You know what I'm saying? Which is rooted in the negative thought or self-talk that they had before they became grown. Like all this stuff playing a part, man. You know what I'm saying? And people don't consider that, because most people, when they meet somebody, irregardless of what their motive is when they meet them, it's very rarely that people meet people and see them as a person, see them as a human being. You know what I'm talking about? Like straight up. That's why a lot of these dudes be crying. Because they feel like, don't no woman see me as a human being. Well, that's your fault for entertaining somebody who would see you that way. And the only reason why you did that, because you don't see yourself as a human being, my nigga. You don't see yourself like that. That's why you'll sit around with people who don't see you like that. But come on, Simo. Where we at with it?
We go with 1 John 5:19.
You can read it again.
He's saying, we know that we are of Elohim, and the whole world lie in wickedness. And we know that the son of Elohim is coming.
Okay, we good, right? And you could give them wickedness by definition. You got these people who are hostile, alienated, separated from God, so therefore they're hostile to his cause.
But it's Honeros, you got full of labors, annoyances, hardships, pressed and harassed by labors, bringing toils, annoyances, perils of a time, peril to Christian faith, and steadfastness, causing pain and trouble. Or
you got trouble.
And bad and of a bad nature or condition.
You got a bad nature and condition, and because you hostile to the cause of God, the cause of a Mashiach, now you got peril and trouble, and the whole world lay in that. You know what I'm saying? So you have to, that's why you came back. There is no balance. You know what I'm saying? You go about whatever it is that you put your hand to do. You know what I'm saying? The labor you got under the sun, and if Yahuah see fit to increase it, Baruch be his name. And if it see fit for it to stay the same, Baruch be his name. And if you take a loss, Baruch be his name. That's how you got to see it. You know what I'm saying? Because when you mess around and you tie your self-worth, your self-esteem, your self-view into what you're able to do and acquire, well, you're going to be miserable, boy. You know what I'm talking about? In your attempt to serve God, you're going to be miserable. This is why a lot of people turn on Yahuah when they don't get certain things. You feel me? Because your self-worth is tied to these external things. Your self-worth ain't tied to the value that you have in Yahushua HaMashiach. You know what I'm saying? Because whether you be rich or poor, you abound in the richness of the faith that's in Mashiach. So it don't really matter. You know what I'm saying? It don't really matter. Because that's your stuff. That's what you want for yourself. And that's fine. You know what I'm talking about? But did you ever consider what Yahuah wanted you to do for him? Because that's the most thing that we look at is, what can I get out of him versus what can I do for him? See, we talked about this before, man. See, that's the hallmark of when you know you got you a soldier on the team, man. You know what I'm saying? And that come apart, especially when you're young, if she gonna aid in the growth and that's the way that a woman would nurture, aiding in your growth and development. What can I do that's gonna benefit him and push forward what he's doing, not what I can extract from him? You know what I'm saying? See, Yahuah can never aid in your growth and development because you're not seeing what you can do that's going to advance his will, his purpose, his righteousness, his dominion. It's always, what can I get out of him? You know what I'm saying? This is why times past, we've looked at all those passages that talk about, hey, this is what you do in the body. This is what this person does in the body, and this person does in the body, and this person does in the body. You know what I'm saying? Because all of these things advance his dominion. They all advance it, but you don't think it advances it because everybody wants the spotlight. You know what I'm talking about? Come on, Silvo, let's just read it for him. We got to read it for him, Silvo. Let's go to Romans 12. I don't want to skip nothing. And whether you realize it or not, it's still relating back to my heart is indicting a good matter and my tongue is the pen of a ready writer. You know what I'm saying? Because my Lashon, my tongue is able to be skillful in recounting this man's word. You know what I'm talking about? But let's continue. Listen to Romans 12, you dig? Verse 4. Make it 3.
For I say through the grace given unto me,
what you say?
To every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think.
He not to think of himself what?
More highly than he ought to think.
When it comes to a lot of people in the word, that's their problem. You think too much of yourself. Nigga, you ain't that goddamn important, cuz. You know what I'm saying? I ain't that important. I just have a job to do. See, there's a difference of what I've seen in my almost 20 years of being in this, man, is that a lot of people just that whoop, 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 hey, bro. Just like we read the other day in Acts when he said, hey, man, we're going to commit ourselves to prayer in the ministry of the word. That's how I look at it. I got a job to do. It's no more to it than that. I ain't this and I ain't that. I just my job. I come to do my job. You know what I'm talking about? And my job is also not encompassing just administering the word. My job is encompassing to being whatever anybody at any given time needs me to be. You know what I'm saying? Just like it's certain things y'all ain't seen because y'all just came around later. You know what I'm saying? Like in the beginning, and I told it before, when them feasts roll around, well, I bought the food, I cooked the food, I prepared the food, I served the food, I washed all the dishes, I threw all this stuff away. Because what does it look like that I'm telling somebody, come over here where I'm at to get some word, and I put them to work? Now let that make sense. You know what I'm talking about? And it ain't never hit in my mind, I don't want to do this. I don't feel like doing this. This is what needs to be done. Service needs to be served. If the people need to be served, then they're going to be served. So if I got to cook the food, then the food shall be cooked. If I got to bring them their plates, then their plates will get brought. You know what I'm saying? And if I got to clean it up, it's going to be clean. I ain't looking for another nigga to do it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't sitting back looking at, I don't want to do it. Somebody else going to do it. That's crazy as hell. That don't even make no goddamn sense. The only reason why I stopped cooking is, number one, I'm not a cook. I can prepare a meal. I can't cook a meal. I think Muffin can remember that time when Jason made that macaroni. He was mad because ain't nobody eat it because it was terrible. It was terrible. This is like 2012, 2013. It was terrible. You know what I'm saying? That's my nigga though. But you know what I'm talking about? But nevertheless, when, you know what I'm saying, I was like, okay, because the first time I didn't cook it switched to Nell started cooking. That's when Dwight got that vegan lasagna that he didn't care for. You know what I'm saying? And I still, because she kind of took it over because Nell likes to cook. She can cook. You know what I'm saying? And then, because Muffin wasn't cooking then, you know what I'm saying? Nell went to Atlanta. You feel me? And I think the first year after she went, okay, we catered some bonos. Okay, now it's more people. This is outside the scope of my expertise of me being able to, because I can't cook for no 40. Like, bro, I don't think people know how difficult that is to prepare food in mass for like 50, 60, 70, 75, 80 people. You know what I'm saying? Nell can cook, man. You just ain't like, I don't know what you talking about. I live with her. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't gonna let you do that. I ain't gonna let you do that because you ain't like one meal now. I ain't gonna let you do that. I ain't gonna let you put that on a jacket. You know what I'm saying? Shh. Man, there were times, man, when we was staying around my way, man, in Viscaya, man, they used to make red velvet cheesecake. You know what I'm saying? Regular cheesecake. Shoot, nigga. Me, her, and Leanna, we eat good in that whole, you hear me? You know what I'm talking about? That nigga, that wild. You know what I'm saying? What he talking about? But shoot. But that's just how it was, you know what I'm saying? It's just whatever needs to be done, you just do it. You know what I'm saying? That's just part of how this thing go. But come on to Romans 12:3, man. Read it one more time.
For I say through the grace given unto me to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think.
But to think what?
Soberly, according as I him have dealt to every man.
Tell him what soberly means. And I ain't tell y'all all that just to be I mean, it wasn't that bad. I mean, it was vegan lasagna. Monte said, man, come on, man. I mean, it wasn't that bad. I mean, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. It was just mid.
We got sophroneo, to be of a sound mind, to be in one's right mind, to exercise self-control.
You ought to think with self-control.
You have to put a moderate estimate upon oneself, to think of oneself soberly, to curb one's passions.
See, so he's telling you need to curb your desire to think that you're more important than what you are. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of people's problem is you think that you're more important than what you are. It's just a job, love. If it's for God, what does it matter? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, man. That nigga, that's great. Verse 4.
For as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office.
So we,
being many, are one body in a Mashiach.
Everyone.
Members of one of another.
Having then.
Gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us, whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith.
Or service.
Let us wait on ministering.
Listen, this is something I keep telling y'all, man, that niggas don't realize, bro. The ability to serve is a gift of the Spirit. So when you don't want to serve, you don't have a desire to serve, that means you're bereft of the Spirit. You understand what I'm telling you? That's a gift from God. That's not a burden. You know what I'm saying? That's not a sacrifice you making. Because when this man told you, he that is greatest among you, let him be your servant. And when he told Martha, you carried about with many things. Because she talking about, tell her to come help me. See, it'd be one thing if somebody said, man, I don't feel like serving, but you was dedicated to get some word. Nigga ain't even on that. You just don't want to do a goddamn thing. That's crazy. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. And that's something that you have to sit back and look at. You have to weigh it and consider it. These things don't get put in the popular because don't nobody talk about it, because people think ministry, they think preaching. That's the first thing they think. Ministry means service. Service encompasses so many things aside serving the word. That boy say, awake the season. This man is wild. Continue. Verse 7, read it again.
Say our ministry, let us wait on our ministering, or he that teach on teaching.
See how he said, you can see how teaching and ministering are two different things. There would be no need to say wait on teaching if teaching and ministry were synonymous, because they're not synonymous. They're two different things. You know what I'm saying? And they're all vitally important. Let's continue. Or he that what?
Exhort on exhortation.
Give them what the exhortation means, just in case they're not aware.
That is pericolasis, that is a calling near, summons, especially for help. We got importation, supplication, entreaty, exhortation, admonition, encouragement, consolation, comfort, solace.
So those who give comfort, those who give encouragement, those who give admonition or correction, all that's a gift from God, and you have the ability to do that. It's just as important as the person who teaches. It's just as important as the person who serves. It's just as important as the person who prophesies. It's all important. But notice he said all these things are given according to the proportion of faith. So when you don't have a certain level of faith, then you don't have the desire and or the ability to do certain things. That's what that represents. Continue.
He that gives, let him do it with simplicity.
He that
rule with diligence.
He that show
mercy with cheerfulness.
Now give him rule and diligence one more time, just because. We talk about rule. So if he talking about ruling, where he talking about ruling at? Go ahead, sir.
refers to me, that is to set or place before, to set over, to be over, to superintend,
to preside over. So you know what that's dealing with? That's dealing with an elder, a pastor, a shepherd. That's what it means. So it doesn't mean rule like dominion and I got power over you. That means I'm presiding and watching over a group of people. And that if I'm going to watch over this group of people, I need to do it with diligence. What does that diligence mean, sir?
Spude, that's haste, with haste, earnestness, diligence.
With purpose. You know what I'm saying? With purpose. Let's continue. Verse 9. Love be without what?
Dissimulation.
Abhor that.
Which is evil.
Cleave to that.
Which is good.
What else?
Be kindly affection one to another.
With what?
Brotherly love.
In honor.
Preferring one another.
Not slothful.
In business.
Not what?
Slothful in business.
Tell them what slothful mean, man. You can't be about your father's business and be lazy about it.
Neighbor, sluggish, slothful, backward.
You can't be lazy about this man's business. And listen, man. Everything is just, if anything that pertains to the ministry, if you would, the assembly or the congregation, that's that man's business. It's not just the administering of the word. If your brother need lifting up, that's his business. If food need to be cooked, that's his business. You know what I'm saying? If stuff need to be cleaned, that's his business. You know what I'm talking about? If somebody need to be checked, that's his business. If someone need to be consoled, comforted, strengthened, whatever the case may be, that's his business. If the word needs to be imparted, that's his business. His business is not just, somebody shoot the word and it's over with. That's crazy as hell. And you know the reason why we look at it this way, which is why in times past I have made it a must for you to understand culturally how these people lived, because you only see it from a congregational perspective. What do I mean by that? You only see it as I show up to a particular place and hear the word and go home. You don't look at it in the aspect that this was a culture of people who lived amongst one another. You know what I'm saying? So these were the things that governed how they lived amongst each other. And then these are the things that they are putting in this particular assembly and saying, this is how you interact and move around with each other here and outside of here. You know what I'm saying? Because all this here is training. And if you can't even execute your training in the place where you get trained at, you're definitely not going to be able to do it outside in the field. You're going to falter. And we don't be thinking about none of that because we worry about everything other than what you need to be concerned with because your soul on the line. Bump all this junk niggas be talking about. Well, your life on the line, my nigga. I'm talking about your life is on the line, man. Not no doggone 50 cents on. Well, your life is on the line every single solitary day. And if you ain't been sealed with the Ruach HaKodesh, man, you can't be walking around with that type of attitude, because that's when you're going to get popped up on and that man going to say, hey, man, depart from me, man. I don't know you. Because you would have had a contempt for the instructions that I gave you, because we think the instructions is just Sabbath, feast, no pork. You know what I'm saying? The instructions can't run a gambit of a multitude of things. That's why he tell you it's difficult to enter into the straight gate in the narrow way, and few people going to be able to find it, because the nuanced things of the behavior that has to be exhibited on a day-to-day basis, individuals don't want to do it. Individuals don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to do it for one reason, and one reason alone, is because we haven't taken the word and laid it up in our heart and internalized it. And that doesn't mean that you are going to be incapable of having human moments and human thoughts, you know what I mean? And things of that sort. But you got to bring those thoughts into captivity of Mashiach, let the word win. This is a part of, if you're indicting a good matter, because that's what you be indicted to do. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't just with us, because like I say, it's quote unquote feast time. These type of conversations come up with everybody. Should we keep them? The thing that people be doing. Like I was talking to De'Aaron earlier today, man. And he was like, dude told him for a particular congregation, they charging $300 for a ticket. And, people hear that and they go crazy. Man, they charging $300 for that? I'm like, my nigga, how you think this stuff gonna get paid for? Where you think the food coming from? Most congregations, at least of the Hebrew persuasion, don't have facilities large enough to accommodate 2, 3, 4, 500 people. You know what I'm saying? Like my man's mentioned, like, okay, like Straightway, they don't got to pay. Straightway has the capabilities to accommodate a large amount of people. And they have the resources to where these people been given all year anyway. Now I ain't gonna get into the specifics on that because they've been doing that anyway, so they don't have to. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to. But I'm only mentioning that because people hear that and they get up in arms and they don't realize, bro, what you thought you was doing when you was bringing them sacrifices to Jerusalem, cuz? What you think was funding the feasts in Jerusalem when they was coming up to eat? What you thought was, who you thought provided for that? You thought the Levites provided for that? No, the people provided for that. Because how was everybody going to eat? What did it say? Send portions to those that don't have. It didn't say for the Levites to do that. It said for you to do that. But the issue come in that because, and I've said it plenty of times before, you look at the pastor and think it's his job to facilitate everything. Word don't say that. Word don't say that. But you know why we don't look at it that way? Because you don't look at it as communal. You know what I'm saying? That this is an effort of every man gives according to his ability to do. Every man serves according to his ability to serve. Because this is all done to be able to be of a benefit one to another, that esteem be brought to our God when people look at that and see that. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up, it's really that simple. It ain't no deeper than that. But you know what's wild? I said it, in the simplicity is where everything get lost because people don't want to do what's simple. You want to do what's complex. When the simple, shalom, my G, when the simplicity is what gets you where you want to go. He said, even before the word, many of us spent money on vacations, amusement parks, spent even more indeed. But you know, this is the same part. I'm glad you said that. But when a lot of black people, when it come for a group of people to put money together for that, you can't get nothing out of these niggas. You'll spend it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I mentioned the meaning this here, right? Because that's what some people look at, man. Man, I got to pay this nigga way. I got to do this for this nigga. You know what I'm saying? I got to do this and do that. Those who are of God at that particular time, they didn't look at it like that because that's what I got this for. This is what the surplus is for. Now, of course, us living in this particular society, you look at that surplus is to feed into whatever personal desire that I have. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily, hey, I can use this to get, like what we read in Chronicles the other day. It said all the people offered voluntarily. You know what I'm saying? Voluntarily. So we don't have that. I'm not talking about us as an assembly specifically. I'm talking about us as a group of people, a nation of people who say, hey, we believe we the people in this book who've created congregations, assemblies, camps, whatever you want to call them, churches all across the country. Niggas don't see themselves as interconnected. You see yourselves as a group of individuals professing to believe in the same God, yet have no desire to be connected fully with each other in any shape, form, or fashion. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of that is contained in because he don't believe what I believe or he don't think how I think. But to me personally, I think it's rooted in the fact that you have such a poor self-view of yourself and an extreme level of self-disgust that you try to fancy up, as you know, as they say, putting lipstick on a pig by getting your hair done a certain type of way. When I say done, I'm talking about men and women, dressing a certain type of way, living in a certain type of way, driving in a certain type of car to make yourself feel better about the fact that you absolutely hate yourself. And when you see somebody who look like you hate him too. You know what I'm talking about? Because there's no way in the world that you look at somebody who look like you and you don't have the same thought of him that you have for yourself. And not because you know him. You know what I'm talking about? Because I always take that. That's why he told you that what good is if you salute your friends, man. You think that you think that make you somebody, bro? No, I don't. But I also do know that a lot of us were not raised to love our people in that capacity. You know what I'm saying? And then again, of course, when you don't love yourself, you're not going to love nobody else. So you're going to overcompensate in a multitude of different ways. Where we at with this, Ivo?
Romans 12 and 11.
Come on with it. You're not slothful in what?
In business.
Get your lazy behind up, nigga.
Fervent in ruach.
Serving
the Lord.
Rejoice.
And hope. Patient in tribulation.
Continuing.
Instant in prayer.
Distributing.
To the necessity of saints.
Giving to what?
Hospitality.
Tell them what that is, man.
Necessity is...
No, hospitality. Just hospitality. My apologies.
That is philonexia. That is love to strangers. Hospitality.
Love to who?
Love to strangers.
Love to who?
To strangers.
What the Hebrew told you? Be careful to entertain who?
Strangers.
Let some entertain what? That man say they'll have love to strangers. He didn't say have love to you. He said you need to be given to have love for strangers. So you got to have love for this man only if you know him. Only if he congregate with you. Notice it said love. It ain't necessarily talking about you got to give him this and give him that. That man say have love for strangers, man. Niggas don't have that. Don't have that. People ain't giving the love for that. Oh, they don't fellowship with us. We don't stay over here. I don't talk to them. You's a goofy. Let's let that be known. And a weirdo. Because what type of time is you on? You know what I'm saying? And me personally, this is my opinion. I genuinely believe people who think like that genuinely hate themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because we was talking the other day, like there's never been a time in my entire life where I've been in the area where black people were at and I felt uncomfortable to be around my own people. I ain't talking about not having a heightened sense of awareness because you know you in the trenches somewhere. You know what I'm talking about? And like you just can't be no goofy and get your head bashed in. You know what I'm talking about? But never to be like, oh, I don't want to go around there, man. Them niggas around there. Because if you get to the point where you don't feel comfortable around people who look like you, well, you need to reassess your whole life, man. How you feel comfortable around strangers, blood? And I say this here because I'm talking about, listen, right? We talked about this in time past. I ain't mentioned it. Like I told when we pulled up on dude and he was like, oh, I willfully ignored them. How you in the word and you willfully ignoring other people in the word and you say you a preacher? Now, for me, that says a lot. I'm not going to go into what that says. Just to me, that says a lot. Now, it tells you in this particular verse, you weren't given to hospitality. And you know why a lot of them people don't? Because a lot of people be thinking about other things, and I get that. You know what I mean? But like I say, what up, man? We going to pull up on any brew anytime in this city, man. I don't want nothing from you, cuz. You know what I'm saying? We just let you know we here, man. We real niggas, man. Straight from the collard green patch, man. I'm not trying to get none of your peoples, bro. We not trying to do nothing to let you know, man. We round here, man. Shoot, tap in, man. It's whatever, whenever, however. You know what I'm saying? You just let me know. It's whatever. We could come pull up on y'all and you could drop word, man. We ain't got to preach no word in here, cuz. We ain't come around here for that, man. But again, so many people have a heightened sense of thinking that people on a different type of time. You know what I'm saying? That they don't even know, man, we 100 with this here, bro. I don't care nothing about what you serve. I'm not finna come in here and be like, your doctrine is false. I'm a grown man, bro. If you were saying something crazy like that, I would just leave. You know what I'm saying? I would just leave. I'm not finna sit here and try to go back and forth with you to prove you this, that, that. I ain't got no time for that. I'm a man, bro. If I don't agree with something, I just depart. I don't got to argue with you about it. You know what I'm saying? I got no time for that. I'm an adult. But the thing I mentioned this here, man, because who knows how bad things was already bad out here economically. Now, because you have a quote unquote military conflict going on, ain't no telling how bad economically things are going to get based off of that, because genuinely things get a little bit more restrictive and expensive during times of military conflict. And you're going to tell me that you know it's a bunch of brews in your city and you goofball, weirdo, lame behind niggas, you don't want to be connected to them? What the hell's wrong with you? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, that's crazy as hell. Oh, I had a bad experience. Man, grow up, man. Because now you walk around and you going to hold everybody accountable. I ain't do that to you, nigga. I'm be honest with you. That is no different than what white people say when they have a bad experience with a black person. And now they say all niggas are killers, rapists, thieves. You doing the same thing, but it's doubly worse because you doing this to people who's supposed to be your brother. What's happening, Rohan? Who's supposed to be your sister? That's really the opposite of the word. Like, seriously, if I've been yeah, man, that's crazy, bro. It's crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? Bro, I don't care what a nigga believe, bro. I really don't. That ain't got nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? Are you an authentically genuine person who's serving Yahuah according to the understanding that you presently have at that moment? Because as long as you ain't out here wilding, bro, I really don't care. I've never met anybody in the word and inquired about what your doctrine is, bro. I don't give a damn about none of that, man. I'm not leading with that. Why am I asking you that? Nigga, I'm genuinely concerned with you as a human being. Not about what doctrines you hold. God damn. Not what doctrine you hold, bro. I'm really not concerned with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm really not. Some people are concerned with that. And that be the problem. You know what I'm saying? So you don't ever meet this person at a human level to actually foster any bond or connection with this person over the mutual agreement that Yahuah is the living Elohim. Oh, he believe in the virgin birth. I can't fool with him. He believe in baptism. He believe in this. Come on, bro. Come on, man. That's what you concerned with when you hear somebody say, yeah, I believe in Yahuah too. That's what you concerned with. You trying to decipher what their doctrine is. You're pathetic. As a man, there's something wrong with you. Because you know what that tells me? You want to argue. That's why you ask that. You're trying to see whatever the divergence is so you can argue. You got hole in your blood, man. You know what I'm talking about? Come on, sir. We'll get back to the point. Come on back to Psalm 45. That go for both of them, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, blood. That go for Christian and Brew. I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, Rohan, he that's with us is not against us. Because I was just telling brother that earlier, man, like, man, I don't be hard. I don't care nothing about what them Christian people teaching. There's nobody, little Johnny, man, I done met in the word, man, Christian or Hebrew, what my thought process is or what your doctrine is, or even to ask them for a Christian what your denomination is. I ain't never thought about none of that. I don't even know none of that stuff for real. I ain't never, you apostolic, you Kojic, you Baptist. I don't care about none of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about none of that. Yeah, I don't care about none of that. As I quote, y'all have mercy on the soul. My man's Crunch, we real niggas, straight from the collard green patch. I'm trying to see who you are as a man, what you stand for, what you about, what your character look like. You know what I'm saying? Is you 100? Is you solid? I don't really care about none of that. Okay, if we don't agree on certain things, cool. I ain't finna be walking around here beefing with you, talking about you, this, that, then. I don't care. Okay, that's what you believe, bro. I'm supposed to dislike you now? Nah. He said, but no one believes so perfect unless there would be reason for 144,000 humans. Well, you know, that's a different conversation. But, you know, yeah, man, I'm just speaking for me. I don't care about that, bro. I ain't going to look at somebody and be like, oh, he go to church on Sunday. I don't fool with him. Okay, he go to church on Sunday. So what? You go to church on Saturday, you wicked as hell. So what's the difference between you and him? Not much in my book. But you satisfied because he show up on the 7th day versus him showing up on the 1st? And I ain't even talking about the heart of the person who show up on the 1st. You boasting showing up on the 7th and you wicked as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care nothing about that. He eat pork. Your grandma eat pork and you go around there all the time. You know what I'm saying? So what is you talking about? Oh, he believed the day start in the morning. So I'm supposed to have a beef with him about that now? Oh, he calculate the feast days like this. And you beefing with a nigga about that? And you talking about it, bro, you was a hoe. You was a whole buster. Man, I told you that time that preacher called me like this here, talking about dear, then talking about, you know he keep, I said, what you calling me, asking me about that for? That's what he believed. I'm not supposed to be cool with him because he believed that? I asked this because I was perplexed that you even asking me this. Because it never crossed my mind, oh, because he views counting time like this, he can't be my friend no more. Okay, that's how he view it. What that got to do with me? Ain't got nothing to do with me. So I ain't got no, oh, he believes sex is marriage. I don't. I'm supposed to beef with him about it? I don't believe that. You do, that's your business. I'll tell you why I don't agree with it. If it causes an issue, then that's an issue for you, not me. Hold on, let me see what they say. Say, go to church on Saturday, believe in the virgin birth, but can't wait to get a hold of a 9-year-old. My God, today. You ain't lying. Yeah, I don't care about none of that type of stuff, man. It's really about the character and the spirit of the individual. You know what I mean? You'd be surprised that people are willing to cut people off for then call themselves. Yeah, I ain't, look at, man. I'm gonna cut you off because you dishonor yourself, not because of what you believe. You show yourself to be a dishonorable man, boy, I'm not fooling with you. Yeah, I'm not fooling with you at all, under no safe form of circumstance. I ain't cut, man. I've been in this a long time. I ain't be like, I can't fool with bro. Bro believe this. Nah. I've been in this a long time, man. I ain't never asked nobody what they believe when I meet them, brother. If you mention it, you mention it. I don't care. You ask me, I'll tell you. I'm not going to volunteer if you didn't ask me for it. And I think that's just how people are conditioned. You thinking that you need to know what everybody believes, they need to know what you believe, and then y'all need to compare. So come on, bro. Come on, man. Show people what you believe by how you treat them and how you live. Just do that. You know what I'm saying? Just be 100 by what you profess in your lifestyle, man, and that'll be enough. You know what I'm saying? Man, that junk just stupid, bro. Because we already know faith in Mashiach is going to cause a separation. He told you that. I didn't come to bring peace, but a sword. So you already know that. It's not doctrine that's bringing the sword. It's the faith in Mashiach that's causing the separation. Because somebody got to be Kadash and somebody has to be unkadash. Somebody has to be holy. Somebody has to be unholy. It is what it is. Somebody has to be a faith. Somebody has to be an unbeliever. That is what it is. And in general, it's going to cause some level of contention between the two parties. Because as he told you, the children of the flesh persecute the children of the Ruach as it is this day. That's different. But just this aspect of walking around looking to find out what your differences are, just so you can separate yourself from people, is high level goofiness. You know what I'm saying? It's top level suckerism. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy, bro. It doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? For mature, alleged mature grown adults to be behaving like that. And that's why I kind of referenced the point of when you look at a very beautiful woman and then you find out that they're not as secure and have the level of self-esteem that you think they have. And you see these people who you think are beautiful, as the Lord say, you look like whited sepulchres on the outside. You seem beautiful on the men, but in the inside, you're full of all manner of uncleanliness and hypocrisy because it don't make sense. And I mention that because then you don't take the time, because all you see is the beauty, all you see is the doctrine, if you would, and you don't take the time to actually see this person for who they are as an individual. So then you can never be connected to them because you didn't want to see them for who they were. That's crazy. Back to Psalm 45:1. That junk don't make no sense, bro. None.
My heart is indicting a good matter. I speak of the things which I have made touching the king. My tongue is the pen of a ready writer.
Go ahead and read them indicting one more time in the Hebrew, man.
That's Rakash, to keep moving, to stir.
I'm stirred. Now, of course, we read Jeremiah 20 when he said, hey, his word was burning in my heart. I was stirred. I couldn't stop. I had to let that be known. Go ahead and give him that ready writer one more time, man.
Ready is my hair. Quick, prompt, skill.
It's skill.
And the writer is Safar. To recount, to relate.
I'm skilled of retelling the book. So we got to do a civic on general principle. Ecclesiastes 12 and 9. Ecclesiastes 12 and 9. Because I was telling each this a while, and whether the Lord allowed to come to pass, I've been wanting to do it for a long time. If it be the Lord's will, it be the Lord's will. You know what I'm saying? A lot of niggas be on some different type of time. I used to try this all the time. If we could go from city to city, state to state, and put this dope on the street, man. And I ain't even talking about putting this work on the street as forth as the testimony and the gospel of Yahuah HaMashiach for the purposes of, I'm coming to crush your doctrine. It's just to expose somebody to something they may have never heard before, that they might weigh and consider, that your Father in heaven be esteemed, that the Son be preached, and that we can be tapped in and connected all across this God-forsaken country. You know what I'm saying? Because see, with me, man, I only want to mess with real niggas, man. And when I say real, I'm talking about authentically true to who they are and what it is, the values and principles that they stand for. Not the doctrine that you stand for. I'm talking about the values and principles that you stand for, honorable men. You know what I'm saying? That's what Jeremiah said, man. He said, I wish I could go away with Wayfair. Go to Jeremiah 9 and 1, man. You know what I'm saying? We ain't trying to be fooled up with none of these goofies, man. A lot of these dudes is weird, bro. Because I don't care nothing about us being in the word and you weird. You know what I'm talking about? I don't want to fool with you, cuz. Jeremiah 9 and 1. Straight like that, man. I don't want to be fooled up with you, man. And you on some old super weird type of time, man. Or you disingenuous, you dishonest. You know what I'm saying? You dishonest, man. We won't be fooled with that. I ain't gonna sit back and look at, that brother say he don't do this. Man, just keep it a beam. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I've been in the word. If you say I've been in the word such and such time, I'm standing like this. Or you know what I'm saying? Or hey, man, shoot. I'm in it, man. I'm still fighting the fight, man. I'm dealing with XYZ, but we fighting though. That's 100. You know what I'm saying? Don't come to me acting like you godly and you slaying all the women in the congregation. Man, get your weird behind from around me, bro. I don't care nothing about that. I don't care about how popular you is, how many people know you. Get your weird behind away from me. Because I don't co-sign that. I ain't on that, bro. Because see, that's not no doctrine. That's your conduct. That's your behavior. Yeah, no, we ain't on that. You like to talk evil about people, man? Get your weird behind from around me, man. Especially you want to come talk them weird, evil about people I don't even know. I don't want to talk to you, cuz. I don't even know this dude. I told you that really happened to me one time, man. You know what I'm saying? But I knew the dude. And that junk pissed me off. Because we pulling up on a dude, they out there baptizing, and I could tell they were talking about this individual. And they wanted me to participate, and I wouldn't. I'm like, bro, I don't care nothing about it. I ain't even come out here for that. You know what I'm saying? If y'all got an issue with that man, y'all know where he stay at. Why you don't go to his house? Then they tried to pull my man Zadok in. I couldn't let him do it. I had to pull. I say, hey, man, I don't know what these people got going on, bro. But, man, just go on. I say, man, this man stay about 15 minutes from here, bro. Just call him and go to his house, talk to him yourself. You know what I'm saying? Don't let these people pull you in whatever the hell they got going on. You know what I'm saying? Because that's my nigga. I ain't finna let a nigga pull, and you in my city, and niggas on some old weirdo type of time. I'm not finna let nobody pull you into that type. And maybe I was thinking like, we was in the streets, man. Because, people get killed by that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Nah, bro. Go talk to that man yourself. I don't know what they got going. I still don't know what they had going on to this day. Don't care. But I just know I'm not going to participate. Because I don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? And you have to get to the point where when an individual do that, man, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. That's all you got to tell them. See, they hear it the first time, they might think you just talking. When you hit them the second time, man, I don't want to hear that. I am genuinely unconcerned in the matters of men's lives that have nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? Unless you telling me something positive. Like case in point, we say, hey, y'all, Civic and Doris just had their first child. Oh, that's what's happening. That's all right. Oh, you know, bro, just put out an album, or bro just bought his first house, or this, that, there, and the third. You know what I'm saying? If it's different, he'd be like, hey, man, hey, man, pray for brother such and such, or go see, because, he going through it. He got some stuff going on, man. You know what I'm saying? That's different. But just talking about, man, I don't want to hear that, my nigga. I don't want to hear that. Who cares? What you telling me for? Now I'm looking at you crazy. Because there's something wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at people that always just want to sit around talking bad about people. Man, something wrong with you. They need help. They need Jesus, but they turned him down. Hell, he might have turned him down. Want this nigga? You need me? You don't want my help? Get away from me. Come on with it, blood. Jeremiah 91.
Say, oh, that my head were waters and my eyes a fountain of tears, that I might weep day and night for the slain of the daughter of my people.
That's right.
Oh, that I had in the wilderness a lodging place of wayfaring men.
Wayfaring men.
That I might leave my people and go from them.
Tell them what a wayfaring man is. He said that I might have some wayfaring men. I can get away from these people. They're evil.
That is all right. To wander, journey, to go, to keep company with.
If there had some men I could keep company with. Because these people are evil. What they doing, Jeremiah?
Say, for they be all adulterers, an assembly of treacherous men. And they bend their tongues like their bow for lies.
My God, today.
They are not valiant for the truth upon the earth.
My
For
God,
they proceed from evil to evil.
What else they do?
And they know not me, saith Yahuah.
That's what you got going on. Read that part again, man. Look what the Lord say. What type of men they is, man?
And for they be all adulterers, an assembly of treacherous men. And they bend their tongues like their bow for lies, but they are not valiant for the truth upon the earth.
They ain't strong for the truth.
For they proceed from evil to evil. They know not me, saith Yahuah.
Then they ain't experienced me. Go ahead.
They take you heed, every one of his neighbor, and trust you not in any brother. For every brother will utterly supplant.
My God.
And every neighbor will walk with slanders. They will deceive every one his neighbor and will not speak the truth. They have taught their tongue to speak lies.
My God.
And weary themselves to commit iniquity.
Damn.
So your habitation is in the midst of deceit. Through deceit, they refuse to know me, saith Yahuah.
See, and it's through lies they refuse to know him. To take you back to what he said in Thessalonians, because they took pleasure in righteousness, they received not the love of the truth. Therefore, he sent them a strong delusion that they might believe a lie. You know what I'm saying? Because it's falsehood that keep you separated from this man. And see, people think the falsehood is the falsehood in doctrine, but that's not what it is. You know what I'm saying? In and of itself. Because see, this was an issue, right? I got a homeboy, man. You know what I'm saying? He say he Yah only. That's his business. Shalom, man. He's having a conversation. This is what happened, right? It's some Yah only people. They wanted to have a conversation with Christians. There were no Christians available. So two people I know, well, the other one don't call himself Yah only. You know what I'm saying? He just don't subscribe to Yahushua being the Messiah. That's not how he referred to himself. They played the role of a Christian. They played the role so well that they got the Yah onlys extremely frustrated. What she was hollering for? Because she had to wear a diaper. She done drove you crazy. Just shake your head. Look at her. She can't even lift her head up. My God, today. You know what I'm saying? So Barry, no, because Barry was in there. So the man was like, if you believe Yahushua is the Messiah, but you don't believe he God, you could be classified as Yah only. So now they going back and forth saying, he's saying it's okay to believe in Jesus. I told you this other day, these people saying you an idolater if you believe that he existed. That you believe that he existed. They say you are committing idolatry. And that's because people make up their own definition for idolatry. But I want you to go to 1 Samuel. 16:25? And read that for me, tell me what to say. Now, I'm only mentioning this here because I want you to know what idolatry is by definition in Hebrew. I don't care what it means in English, because that's not the standard that we have to move by. Go ahead.
There's no verse 25.
Oh, what it is? 22, 20, whatever you want to say, the stubbornness is idolatry, and, sin, what other thing? Maybe I'll go ahead. Y'all know what I'm talking about. When you're talking to Saul, y'all know what I'm talking about. You don't know what I'm talking about, Sid? You don't know what I'm talking about. Hold on. Where's that? I might have told you the wrong place. Ain't no matter. Obviously, I told you the wrong place. Ain't that something? Y'all know the verse I'm talking about, though. Oh, 15 and 23. I was off one chapter. That was a war. 1 Samuel 15, 23. You say you perplexed by that, huh, Ryan? Thank you, sir. You can read 22.
Okay, Samuel said, have Yahuah as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices, as in obeying the voice of Yahuah. Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. And for rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. And because you have rejected the word of Yahuah, he have also rejected you from being king. Tell them what idolatry is. It's a word that y'all should know. It's teraphim. Now tell them what teraphim means. You got idolatry, idols, images. Teraphim, family idol, a kind of idol used in household shrines or worship. So to be an idol, it has to be an actual image used for worship. You understand? That's what idolatry is. So an individual can't be in idolatry if they believe Yahushua is the Messiah, because there is no image that you're bowing down and worshiping. Goofy. You know what I'm talking about? Because that's not what that means, bro. But people throw that at you because they don't even know what that means. Now, when you take a quote unquote photograph of Caesar Borgia, you know, a white Jesus, that is idolatry. When you make this image and put it in a place of worship or a shrine or an altar, and people are bowing down to it, because that's idolatry, bro. Yeah, that's what idolatry is. But if you just believe that Yahushua is the anointed one, that's not idolatry. But then I told you this Wednesday, the thing that got these people riled up was it idolatry when they were worshiping David? Oh, you can't prove Jesus existed. Can you prove Moses existed? Can you prove Abraham existed? You can't. So you're stuck in this dichotomy of where you actually believe the same things as the Christians that you rag on all day, every day. Because all these people wake up is they got Jesus on their brain. They got Yahushua on their brain every day. Don't teach no word. Just talk about how he ain't real, this, that, then, the third. But that's terrible. You know what I'm saying? That's terrible. Now, I'm mentioning that there is, how can the people effectively be instructed when all you talking about is what you don't believe in? And it ain't no different with a lot of brews, the Christian church teaching this. Why do you care? Why do you care? Why do you care so much about something that you don't agree with? Why are you even giving attention to it? Because there's something wrong with you. Do you think Yahuah will sit around and give attention to Dagon and Baal? You think he give attention to that? Do you notice the only time he ever spoke about these deities is when his old lady was worshiping him? Like, what are you doing? You know what I'm talking about? He wasn't walking around thinking about nothing. I know these idols are nothing, so why would I give any credence to it? If I know you're a false prophet, why would I give you any attention? I don't care. Because I know that what I'm selling and who I am is greater than what you offer. I'm not concerned with you. This is how I know these niggas, who, especially these dudes who say they was in the street, they wasn't selling no dope. That's how I know these niggas dirty Macs. Because you're going to talk down on somebody instead of showing that your product is superior. If God is with you, then it's going to show. So I don't have to talk about what he ain't got, what he ain't doing, what he can't teach, what's false, because it's going to show when you put it next to me. You know what I'm talking about? It's going to show. Dudes don't look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? Man, if you 100, man, and a nigga flaw, it's going to show when you standing side by side. We always reference the passivity, and you come back to Psalms 45:1. What that boy said, man, he said, man, if Baal be God, worship him. And if Yahuah be God, worship him. How long you going to be between two opinions, man? You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to talk down on Baal. I'm going to mock his prophets because that's 100, because that's what you're supposed to do. But I ain't got to talk down on him because I already know this is a win when I got here. Because I know Baal is nothing but the work of men's hands. And anybody who put their trust in it is just like it. That's all you got to do. You know what I'm saying? That's all you got to do. One thing you ain't never, see, you've been around for a little while, you ain't never heard talk about what nobody teach do it. You know why? Because I don't watch, because I don't care.
I ain't worried about what he teach, because that's not my business. Do you know how pathetic you got to be sitting around trying to examine niggas' teaching so you could poke holes in them? And all that time you took doing that, you could have been praying and seeking after God to get a teaching to benefit somebody so they could come closer to God. You think you bringing people closer to God by cutting up another nigga doctrine. I promise it don't work. Ask around. Ask around how many people came to seek to want to serve their God because they heard somebody doctrine get cut up. Just ask. Ask how many people got closer to God behind that. Come on, man. Psalm 45 more.
My heart is inditing a good matter. I speak of the things which I have made touching the king. My tongue is the pen of a ready
You
writer.
are fair.
Then the children of men
Grace
is poured into your lips.
Therefore, Elohim. So, of course,
forever.
you know this testifying of Yahuah. Roll with it, though.
Gird your sword upon your thigh.
Mighty.
With your esteem and your majesty.
And your majesty.
Ride prosperously.
Because of what?
Truth and meekness.
And what else? And your right hand
shall teach you terrible things.
Listen, he said your majesty prosper because of what? Because of faithfulness, humility, and righteousness. Now, how you think you gonna prosper? Do me a favor, man. What that is? 2 John? No, is it 3 John? Let me look, because I ain't got neither one in this book. I gotta look on the app for that. Hold on.
And what the pages are?
Shoot, them pages been gone, blood. This book been around for a long time, you feel me? And I'm not one into replacing the Bibles for no other reason because I don't want to take the time to learn a new one. I wish I still had that family Bible that I got from Mom Duke, because I promise I still ride out with it on my soul. I sure would. Come on, 3 John. Epistle of 3 John, man. Verse 1.
Said the elder unto the well-beloved Gaius, whom I love in the truth. Beloved, I wish above all things that you may prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers.
He said that you would prosper and be in health, even as your what?
Your soul prospers.
As your what?
Your soul prospers.
Come on, man.
For I rejoice greatly when the brethren came and testified of the truth that is in you.
What else?
Even as you walk in the truth. I have no greater joy than to hear that my children walk in truth.
That your children walk in what?
In truth.
Talk that talk then.
Beloved, you do faithfully whatsoever you do to the brethren and to strangers.
That's right.
Which have borne witness of your charity.
What else?
For the assembly.
Come on.
If you bring forward on their journey after a godly sort, you shall do well.
You'll do well.
Because that for his name's sake they went forth, taking nothing of the Gentiles.
That's right.
We therefore ought to receive such, that we might be fellow helpers to the truth. I wrote unto the assembly, but Diotrephes, who love to have the preeminence among them, receive us not.
He just reading all that in. It is just because it ain't that many verses in anyway. Go ahead.
Say, wherefore, if I come, I will remember his deeds, which he do, prating us against with malice words, and not content therewith. Neither do he himself receive the brethren, and forbid them that would, and cast them out of the assembly. Beloved, follow not that which is evil.
Now follow that which is what?
Follow that which is good.
That's
he
right.
That do good is of Elohim, but he that do evil is have not seen Elohim. Demetrius hath good report of all men and of the truth itself. Yea, and we also bear record, and you know that our record is true.
That man say, if you do evil, man, you ain't seen God, cuz. And a lot of people don't know that. You won't know him. You ain't seen him. You've got a problem. Come back to verse 4 of Psalm 45, right, you did, and give him prosperously. Give him majesty and prosperously.
Majesty is hadar, ornament, splendor, honor.
Your honor. So in your honor, you shall ride in prosperously. What is it to be prosperously?
Salayat, to rush, to advance, prosper, to make progress, succeed, to be profitable.
So in honor, you'll have profitability. You feel me? And that's because of what? The honor of the advancement or the profit that you get is derived from truth, humility, and righteousness. You know what I'm saying? So when we read in Proverbs 8, when he say, I have durable riches, you know what I'm talking about? And he say he made himself poor that you might be made rich. And he saying those that are rich in faith, this is what we were talking about earlier with some of the stuff we ventured off to, you know, to all bring it all full circle, bring it back together. That's why there is no balance. Because the things that are going to cause you to advance and prosper and get a profit are not going to be the things that you do with your hands, not the things that you do with the ingenuity of your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Because when I mentioned that earlier, like, yeah, my son got a brain, but it's not to take his brain to see how you can be able to prosper in a capitalistic system that's using fiat currency that is not set for the purpose of individuals, exploiting other people for their own personal gain. It's for the ability to have a mind to be able to critically think, problem solve, and come up with ways that he can be of value to people who look like him. You know what I'm saying? You can't be of value to people who look like you, dribbling a basketball, running a football, swinging a baseball bat, simply because you have to dedicate so much of your time and energy to be good at that particular endeavor. You know what I'm saying? So the amount of time that you would need to dedicate to actually see, I'm not talking about the charity work that they had these men do. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to denigrate those men for that. Blessed be those gentlemen in whatever sport they in that do those things. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't nothing wrong with that. But you can't dedicate yourself to that in the same way as somebody who don't play. Because if you play high-level athletics, now, of course, I'm talking about high-level athletics now. Obviously, I'm not talking about middle, high school, recreational, or possibly college athletics, depending on what level you're playing on. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot to compete at that level. It takes a level of dedication to compete at that level and stay in. And I mentioned this on my brain because we were talking about this yesterday when I mentioned it. Bro, do you know, what do y'all think what do y'all know, what is the percentage of NFL and NBA players that go broke? Don't Google it now. That go broke within the first 5 years of retirement. For the NFL and the NBA, what percentage of players do y'all believe, without Googling it, don't cheat now, nigga, because I can see it. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know how I can see it, but I can see it, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You say 80% for which league? For the NFL and the NBA, the percentage of men who have either filed for bankruptcy or have extreme, well, Dre, you was in there, financial distress.
I'd say probably 90% for both.
Civil say 90 for both. My God, today. He said, oh, these niggas going, bro.
Within the first 5 years.
Yeah, they said within the first 5 years, man, of retirement.
Of retirement.
Now, case in point, of course, the average NFL and NBA careers is like 3.5 years. So most of them don't even play that long. Everybody looks at the top end of player salary and player length, and you kind of don't look at the floor and then the people in the middle. Because you look at, Giannis make this and Tatum make this, but it's not other people. Brother Ernest say 85 for both. It's not that many people on those teams that make that kind of money. You know what I'm saying? It might be 2-3 players a team, and not even that no more with how they got that junk set up that make that. And the NFL, dudes definitely not making that like that. Well, I'm going to tell you this here. For the NFL, it is 78%. For the NBA, it is 60%. You know what I'm saying? Like, I seen a story where they were talking about Trevor Ariza and how he was broke because he was trying to get his child support lowered because the mother of his children still wanted the lifestyle that he was paying them, and he ain't been in the league in years. Because they mentioned the factors. This is another thing, too, that a lot of people don't take into account. I think I told y'all something before. When you turn around, man, and you look at football player, basketball player, whatever the case may be, just because they're high-level athletes does not mean that they are astute businessmen. You know what I'm saying? She said 90 for baseball. I don't think they put one up there for baseball. That doesn't mean that they're astute businessmen. It doesn't mean that they're savvy investors, because the majority of their life has been spent playing a sport. And now you have to trust individuals as it pertains to as it pertains to getting money. It says approximately 5 to 6% of Major League Baseball players declare bankruptcy within 12 years of retirement, a lower rate than the NFL or the NBA. However, a higher percentage experience significant financial strain, with estimates suggesting up to 70% of foreign-born Latino players face financial hardship within 4 years of leaving the game. Say, while 5 to 6% officially declare bankruptcy, many others face or live paycheck to paycheck. Now, there's the comparison that I mentioned. 78% of NFL players and 60% of NBA players may face financial trouble. MLB players generally have longer careers and higher salaries. Common reasons for financial distress include poor investments, supporting family and friends, and failing to adjust to a lower income after retirement. Despite higher average earnings, many players suffer from lack of financial understanding. Lifestyle inflation, maintaining a high spending lifestyle without a corresponding high income. Poor advice and trusting the wrong people with their finances. The short career span. The average MLB career lasts 5.5 years, which is not long enough to build a lifetime of wealth for some players. And divorce, bad investments, and supporting family members are major factors. That divorce be getting them. That's why I told you I never understood why these people got married. You know what I'm saying? Nah, for real. It says 15 to 16% of NFL players file for bankruptcy within 12 years. The 78% is a commonly quoted figure from a Sports Illustrated article indicating players who face severe financial hardship or bankruptcy within 2 years. 35% of players face bankruptcy or financial stress within 2 years of retirement. And the ruin comes from extravagant spending, bad investments, lack of financial literacy, and supporting family and friends. And the short career span of 3.5 years makes long-term financial planning difficult for many, especially when combined with a high-cost lifestyle. Now, I only mention that because these are the stories that don't nobody talk about, why every black person want to push their child to go do this, and he's underdeveloped in other areas of life because you think this nigga gonna play football or basketball for 20 years and he only played for 2. You know what I'm talking about? Then his mind has to compute with the fact that you have to stop doing the one thing you've done your entire life and you don't know how to do nothing else. See, people don't talk about that and pay attention to that. Imagine starting to do something at 5 years old, right? Say you started playing Super Pee Wee football at 5. This is all you've done. And now you've made it all the way to the NFL. And let's say you got to the NFL at 22 and you played 10 years. Bro, you're 32 years old, bro. You know, in general, with most people, you would be considered to be fairly young. You know what I'm talking about? Now you got still possibly another 30, 40 years to live. And you don't know how to do nothing else other than to play football. And when I say that, meaning not that you don't have any other abilities or thought processes. You know what I'm saying? But then you deal with the morning of what am I going to do with my life? Because this is why a lot of them go to coaching and go to being in TV. Because they have to, this is what I know. This is what I don't know nothing else. But like I said, can you imagine, which obviously would probably be difficult, could you imagine making $10 million a year to making nothing? And now you have to adjust to that. You got to adjust to that. You say survivor's remorse kill players because they say no to family and friends. Yeah, because some of them don't want nobody to be like, that nigga changed. I don't even think it's survivor's remorse. I think some of them could be like MC Hammer. You just generally want to look out for your people. You know what I'm saying? But it just has to be, you just have to have the ability to say no sometimes. And not no because I don't want to help you, but nigga, if I'm broke, I can't help nobody. You know what I'm saying? But them niggas spreading their seed around. That's why Stephon Diggs looking stupid. You know what I'm saying? That's spreading your seed around, doing stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because, bro, you could have gave that woman them 10 racks, man. Now you lost 27 million because you didn't want to give her 10 racks for them yams, bro. She just gave her the 10 racks. But that's what happens when you think with your wee-wee. That's what happens. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these niggas are stupid. Just stupid for no reason. Come on, man. Verse 5, man. So I'm put about.
Your arrows are sharp in the heart of the king's enemies, whereby the people fall under you. Your throne, O Elohim, is forever and ever. The scepter of your kingdom is a right scepter.
You love
righteousness
and hate
wickedness,
and
therefore Elohim, your Elohim,
have anointed you
with the oil of gladness above your feathers.
All your garments,
smell of myrrh,
aloes,
and cassia out of the ivory palaces, whereby they have made you glad.
And he said, and the king's daughters were among the what?
Your honorable women.
And upon your right hand
did stand the queen and gold of
hearken,
O daughter, and consider.
What she wants you to consider?
Incline your ear. Forget also your own people in your father's house.
Go ahead.
So shall the king greatly desire your beauty, for he is.
No, that's real, Brother Ernest. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. Ocho come from being dirt poor. So he probably more considered like, shoot, not me. You know what I'm talking about? Go ahead, man.
And so shall the king greatly desire your beauty, for he is your Lord, and worship you him.
The king's daughter
of Tyre shall be there with a gift, even the rich among the people shall entreat your favor.
And the king's daughter
is all esteemed within,
and her clothing
is of wrought gold.
And she shall be brought unto the king,
and raiment of needlework.
The virgins,
her companions that follow her shall be brought unto you.
The virgins that what?
Her companions that follow her shall be brought unto you.
I think about that because that's what we came here for, to get all the way to that. Look at that verse. She brought unto the king in raiment of needlework. Tell him what needlework is, man.
That is Rick Ma. Variegated stuff embroidered.
What do y'all take from that? Say, the virgin, her companions that follow her shall be brought unto you. Because he's talking about a daughter. The king shall greatly desire your beauty, for he is your Lord. Worship you him. The daughter of Tyre will be there with a gift. The rich among the people will entreat of your favor. The king's daughter is glorious within, her clothing is wrought. And not only will the king's daughter come unto the king in a raiment of needlework, but the virgins, her companions, going to be with her. I want you to ponder on that as we return back to Esther 2. Come on with it, man. Esther 2 and 2. Go ahead.
Then said the king's servants that ministered unto him, let there be fair young virgins sought for the king.
And let the king do what?
Appoint officers in all the provinces of his kingdom, that they may gather together all the fair young virgins unto Shushan the palace, to the house of the woman, unto the custody of Haggai the king's chamberlain, keeper of the women, and let their things for purification be given them.
Pause. Now you look at this verse 7. Let the king appoint officers in the provinces. Who are the officers? Because I think I mentioned this Wednesday. No, I don't want the definition. But you can give it now. You done said it. What's the definition of it, man?
You got Parkey, you got Sorrel, Reddish, Tony, or Bay. You got a superintendent. You got an officer, an overseer.
An overseer. Appoint overseers in all the provinces of his kingdom.
The apostles.
You know what I'm saying? So, we say, they ordain elders in every city, right? Gather together all the fair young virgins for the keepers of the women, and let their things for purification be given. What are the things for purification? But the gift of the Ruach HaKodesh through immersion in his name, Matthew 3. You know what I'm saying? As your point of reference. Verse 4, let the maiden, this is Esther 2 and 4.
Which pleased the king be queen instead of Vashti.
And the thing did what?
Pleased the king.
Now in Shushan,
the palace, there was a certain Yahuah,
whose name was what?
Mordecai, son of Jair,
the son of
Shimei,
the son of
Kish of Benjamin,
who had been carried away
from Jerusalem with the captivity, which had been carried away with Jeconiah, king of Yehudah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away.
I just want y'all to keep in mind that means, for all intents and purposes, Esther more than likely was a Benjamite, because you see Mordecai is a Benjamite. You know what I'm talking about? And being with a son of Kish is quite possible he from Saul's line. You know what I'm talking about? Because Saul's father's name was Kish. Matter of fact, let me look at that real quick. Now, obviously, Kish also is a very common name. So it doesn't necessarily mean that, no, because it say of the family of Martree, and he don't come from that. Because it say Shimei. So he not from Saul line. Because you had Shimei, that's the one who cursed David. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, right? There are a lot of names that are very common. You know what I'm saying? Very, very common. Like you see Judas, but Judas is like really Judah. That's a very common name. Miriam, aka Mary, very common name. You know what I'm saying? Saul was a very common name. The reason I'm mentioning, we talked about this before, right? The aspect of naming men and or women in your family after people in your family, that's something that Israelites did. That was just what it was. And of course, they didn't have no junior, no senior, no second, no third, or the fourth. That's just what they did. Remember, what did the people say when Zechariah said he was going to name his son John? Do you recall what the people said?
Oh, yeah. Who has his family in his name?
Yeah, nobody in your family got that name. You know what I'm saying? Why you naming him that? Ain't nobody listen, right? Now, of course, it's Don's middle name, but Joanne is the name of two people in her bloodline. You know what I'm saying? On the maternal side, her great grandmother, and then I think her great grandmother. You know what I'm saying? She would be the third person in the family named Joanne. Now, I'm only mentioning that because if you would take it back to antiquity with Hebrews, women, we were just because this son, like I said, right, they just didn't throw no junior on it. A lot of women were named after women in their family. You know what I'm saying? Just hey, we gonna name her Miriam after her grandma, after such and such, because this is just a family name. This is what we do. I'm just giving you that for cultural context. This is what they did. You know what I'm talking about? Continue. You in what? Verse 7? Mm-hmm. You in verse 6?
Verse 7.
Come on. And he brought up
Hadassah, that is Esther,
his uncle's
daughter.
She had neither
father nor mother.
And the maid was
fair and beautiful.
And Mordecai,
when her father and mother were dead,
took her for his what?
His own daughter.
Come on.
So it came to pass when the king's commandment and his decree was heard, and when many maidens were gathered together unto Shushan the palace, to the custody of Haggai, that Esther was brought also unto the king's house to the custody of Haggai.
And the maiden what?
Pleased him, and she obtained kindness of him.
Now pause. Now we're looking at that obviously because it said the king's daughter and the virgins get brought with her. But obviously the king's daughter pleased him from what you read in Psalm 45, correct? And go ahead. Say the king's and the maiden what?
Pleased him.
And she obtained what?
Kindness of
so
him.
When you please God, guess what you're going to obtain? That loving kindness like we read in Exodus 34 all the time. Go ahead.
And he speedily gave her things for purification.
He did what?
Speedily gave her things for
which such things belonged to her.
And 7 maidens.
Which were met.
To be given her out of the king's house.
And he preferred her.
And her maids unto the best place of the house of the woman.
Now I want you to give him purification by definition. Because we just read about purifying, right?
Mm-hmm. This is tamrik. You got a scraping or rubbing. You got a remedy for an injury.
Go back up. Verse 3. See what word they got right there.
It's the same word.
Now when you and I just wanted to confirm that. Now think about it. What would be the injury where you need to be healed from? Well, let's look at Isaiah 1 and let's see what that injury is.
The vision of Isaiah the son of Amos, which he saw concerning Yehudah and Jerusalem in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Yehudah. Hear, O Shamahim, and give ear, O earth, for Yahuah has spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. The ox know his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Yasharah do not know my people, do not consider. Ah, sinful nation and people laden with iniquity, The seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters, they have forsaken Yahuah. They have provoked the Kadash from the Yasharal unto anger. They are gone away backward.
Way back.
Why should you be stricken anymore? You will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick.
The whole head is what?
Sick.
What
the
else?
whole heart faint. From the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it. But wounds and bruises and putrefying sores, they have not been closed, neither bound up, nor neither mollified with ointment.
They need some purification then, Civic, to heal a wound. Well, John 3:14 on general principle.
And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man.
Now, when he lifted up that serpent in the wilderness and everybody looked upon it, what happened, Civic?
They were healed.
Okay, go ahead.
Say that whosoever believe in him should not perish, but have eternal life.
What else?
For Elohim so loved the world
that he gave
his only begotten Son,
that everyone
so believe in him should not perish,
but have
everlasting life.
My God, today. Come on back, man. That's all we want to hear. Verse 9.
And the maiden pleased him. She obtained kindness of him, and he speedily gave her things for purification, and such things as belonged to her, and 7 maidens, which are meet to be given her out of the king's house. And he preferred her and her maids unto the
I want y'all to keep that Psalms 45 in your brain.
Of the house of the women. Esther had not showed her people, nor her kindred, for Mordecai had charged her that she should not show it.
And Mordecai what?
Walked every day before the court of the woman's house to know how Esther did and what should become of her.
Now,
when every maid's term was come to go into King Xerxes, after that she had been 12 months.
According to what?
The manner of the woman.
So were the days
of their purifications accomplished.
6 months with oil.
Of myrrh.
6 months.
With sweet odors and with other things for the purifying of the woman.
Now, when you sit back and you look at that, let's go to Matthew 26 and 15 on general principle.
And said unto them, what will you give me, and I will deliver him unto you? And they covenanted with him for 30 pieces of silver. And from that time, he sought opportunity to betray him. Now, the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Yahuah, saying unto him, where will you that we prepare for you to eat the Passover?
I'll drop down to 18. I don't want to hear all that. Just when Mary come through.
Say, but when his disciples...
What verse that is?
That is verse 7.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Say, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat.
That's right.
But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. And Yahuah understood, he said unto them,
what he said?
Why trouble you the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me.
What she do this for?
For you have the poor always with you, but me you have not always. For that she hath poured this ointment on my body.
She did it for my what?
For my burial.
Go to John 19 and 41.
Now in the place where he was crucified, there was a garden, and in the garden a new sepulchre, wherein was never man yet laid.
Never.
There laid they Yahuah, therefore, because of the Yahudim's preparation day, for the sepulchre was near at hand.
Near at hand.
That's the
Well, back up because it said they, talk about how they anointed him with ointment.
Yeah, verse 40.
Go ahead.
Where it say, then they took the body of Yahuah and wound it in linen clothes with the spices, as the manner of the Yahudim is to bury. And now in the place where he was crucified.
Now I just want you to hear that spices because obviously it's not a 1-for-1, but you get the gist. You get the gist. Come on back to Esther, man. And I'm just looking at for the purifying because setting that up is for his purifying. What is he being healed from? Obviously, what, Civic? Death. Come on, Civic.
Verse 13. Then thus came every maiden unto the king. Whatsoever she desired was given her to go with her out of the house of the woman unto the king's house.
In the evening,
she went, and on the morrow she returned into the second house of the woman, to the custody of Shashgaz, the king's chamberlain, which kept the concubines. She came in unto the king no more, except the king delighted in her.
That's right.
That she were called by name.
Pause for a second. He says, is there any correlation to the serpent that bit Paul's hand? Oh, no, that's different. That serpent that bit Paul's hand, Drake, comes from, read him Mark 16 and 15. Well, you can start right there. Go ahead.
He said unto them, Go you into the world and preach the gospel to every creature. He that believe and is baptized shall be saved, but he that believe not shall be damned.
What up?
And these signs shall follow them.
These
that believe.
what?
These signs shall follow them that believe in my name.
What them signs is?
They shall cast out devils, and they shall speak with new tongues.
What else?
They shall take up serpents, and if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick, they shall recover.
So take this out, Drake. When you read like what that is in Isaiah by 8 and 14, 16, somewhere in that man, and it talking about the children that Yahuah has given me are for signs. So when you see Mashiach saying, hey, these are the signs of those that believe on me that will follow after me, you feel me? When you see that serpent biting Paul's hands, that would be linked to what you just heard in Mark. You know what I'm talking about? And that's why I think I've seen videos about this. If those of you who are more familiar with the Pentecostal type deal, you know what I'm saying, with the pastors, you know, drinking poison and things of that nature, y'all can speak to that from your direct experience. But like I said, I watched a documentary on this before I was in the word, especially I think it was African pastors in it that would like purposely get poisonous snakes and then have them snakes bite them to prove like, hey, you know, we're an apostle. All these niggas died or damn near died. You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy. But the reason why they died or damn near died, I would say this here, not because they may have not been those things, but you should remember what the Lord told Satan when he came tempting him about jumping off of there. Don't tempt Yahuah your God. You ain't supposed to try Yahuah by saying, let me grab this snake and let it bite me so I can. You're not supposed to do that. That's Deuteronomy 6 and 16, by the way, where you tell them don't tempt Yahuah your Elohim like you tempted him in Massa when they tried him about the water. You know what I mean? So that's where that comes from. You understand? You're not supposed to test this man in this type of capacity. And that's what a lot of people's problem is you testing this man in this type of capacity. Not supposed to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, Paul didn't do that. You know, they thought Paul was a god when they seen that. You know what I'm saying? But come on with it, Sibbo. Prayerfully, that helped you out on that in that deal. But yeah, that serpent is different, Dre, because the serpent with Moses is that the people tempted Yahuah and he sent fiery serpents and them serpents bit the people and they died. So they took that brazen serpent and put it on a pole and lifted it up. This is in Numbers 21. And whoever was bitten by the fiery serpents, when they looked upon that brazen serpent on the pole, then they were healed. So that's why Yahushua says, as Moses lifted the serpent up in the wilderness, so shall the Son of Man be lifted up. And everybody, like it says in Zechariah 12, look on him, they'll be healed, if you would. You know what I'm saying? Because we was also talking about this morning, like when you look at like the thief on the cross. Because that's why I mentioned that there with me and with Derek, we're talking about that, about the, you know, just striking them odd, because he was talking about, you know, a personal thought process with people in their family about, you know what I'm saying, about them, you know, feeling pressured to tithe and do these things of this nature because of how people put that type of pressure on people. This is why I've always told y'all, so you know exactly structurally how this stuff supposed to go. You're only supposed to tithe 3 times a year. You know what I'm saying? It's only 10% of your increase, not 10% of your income. You know what I'm saying? But that's what they tell you, though. It's 10% of your income. He didn't say it was 10% of your income. He said it's 10% of your increase. And that increase varies from person to person because he didn't put that burden on you to feel like you had to do X, Y, Z to the detriment of yourself. That's what men put on people. You understand what I'm telling you? He didn't put that on people. Number one, he don't come to people and compel them to give anything. You know what I'm talking about? If they do it, they do it. They don't, they don't. You know what I'm saying? Because these things attend to certain functionality as forth as the people as a whole, and or to support these men and the work that they're doing. You know what I'm talking about? Then, of course, you know, at that particular time with a lot of the people, they had more of respect for the service that these people were doing because they understood that. But that's neither here nor there. But when they come into certain things, you know, tenfold, when they come into certain things, you know, people are going to exploit and they're going to do this. And what I'm mentioning to this, a lot of people don't know what's in the book. Like I said, I was talking to my man yesterday who Yah only, we were talking about this here. And I was telling him, I talked to Yah onlys for years. You know what I'm saying? About a good 3-4 year run straight before I'm like, yeah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And and I've told you this before, what I always encountered with these men they were used to talking to people, oh, I'm gonna go to Psalms 23, I'm gonna go to Daniel 7, I'm gonna go to Isaiah 53. So they already know where you're going. So they already have their arguments pre-prepared in order to argue with you. Now, see, me myself, I will pull up on them and tell them you can pick the book chapter yourself and make it light on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't got nothing prepackaged or prepared for you, man. You know what I'm saying? Because my style, like water, is fluid. You know what I'm saying? You can get it however you're looking for it. You know what I'm talking about? Because I'm not coming here to play with you, man. Because you know what I'm saying? Because you running your mouth, disrespecting and blaspheming, and you don't know who you dealing with. Because I'm not them. Because the difference between me and them is this is what I do. They just want to argue. I'm going to lay it flat and I'm going to dip. Because I don't give a damn if you believe it or not, cuz. Because I'm not going to go back and forth with you about this. But since you say, oh, you believe in Jesus, woo, 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 and you want the business, well, go ahead and square up then. You know what I'm talking about? And I say that in the most humblest way possible. Because when these people be disrespectful, I don't take it as you disrespecting me. You disrespecting the king. And I'm going to go ahead and punch you in your mouth then. Because that's what you need to know. So when you go to hell, you would have known that Yahushua was the son of Elohim and the anointed of the Abba in heaven, and who was sent forth to be the redeemer of all men. Because I ain't got, bro. Because I'm not these, because and I mention that because most people don't read the word comprehensively. This is why I be on y'all about that. You shouldn't be reading the word for doctrines. You shouldn't be reading the word for, no, man, you should be reading it in its totality to understand the nuance and to get the spiritual insight, the wisdom and understanding that's in the faith of Yahushua HaMashiach to save your soul. And then you can be able to communicate it to people effectively. You know what I'm saying? Like it's bigger than that. The majority of people, they don't know what's in that book. That's why I mentioned that because brother say he talking to his people. They don't really know what's in there and what's not in there. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, theoretically, it's that grown adult's fault for that. But then, realistically, people go through the word based on the person who taught them. And I know people don't like to hear that because you want to believe that you're some great leader who's autonomous and this, that, there, and the third. But when you understand human nature, that's just not usually how it goes, my G. You know what I'm saying? So if the teacher teaches you in a pattern of, we talk about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 topics. You know what I'm talking about? Then guess how when you on your own, if you do even read on your own, guess what you're going to examine the text by those said topics. But see, praise be to Abba and Shamaim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach for this. Because he has given us the ability to receive understanding of his son through his witness from Genesis to Malachi, guess what that had to force us to do, Civic? I know I called for Ecclesiastes 12:9 a long time ago. We ain't never read it. We'll get to it. Guess what that forced us to do? We had to read the whole book. We had to go through the whole book. Now, some of y'all might not feel that way, but some of y'all who've been here for 10 plus, we done went through this every book, every chapter, every line. You know what I'm talking about? For those who you've been around long enough, hey, we read some of these epistle letters, we know it got to go back to the old. We have to do that. So in doing so, and then of course, pressing on what's in Acts 17, these men were more noble than those in Thessalonica because with all readiness of heart, they searched the scriptures to see if those things are so. It's been told to you as a grown man, as a grown woman, that's your responsibility to make sure that you comb through this book to not only that you can decipher and know that whatever you heard was correct, but then also that you can have a strong understanding of it for yourself. Because guess what? That's your house. Them your children. My job is to facilitate, to give you the tools to be better at doing that in your house and in your life for your family. It's not my job to dictate to your children. You know what I'm saying? It's not my job to do X, Y, Z. My job is to give you the tools. That's what people don't understand. My job is to give you the tools or show you how to use the tool for yourself so that you can teach your household how to use the tool for themselves. See, but people don't want to look like that. They do it like that because everybody wants to exert control. I want to tell this person. Let me tell you something, man. It don't make you a leader to tell a nigga what to do. Anybody can tell a nigga what to do. All these punk behind police officers out here who tell people what to do. That doesn't mean that you have the totality of the thought process that pertains to leadership, because that's what you have. I can say you, but I'm saying we have reduced leadership to that. Leadership is telling people what to do. That's not leadership. That's middle management, man, or an authoritative dictatorship. See, running something by somebody who has oversight over something is not a dictatorship. You know why? Because case in say in my instance, well, anything that's congregational business. Well, don't you know I got to answer to God for that, boy? Don't you know in the day of my decease, if one of you young men take this over, man, do you realize that everything that is congregational business, you gonna answer to God for it? So yeah, you need to know what XYZ and XYZ is to make sure that this stuff line up with the word. Because he not going to want to hear none of that junk you talking about if I gave you oversight of my house and you let this happen. He ain't going to want to hear none of that. And a lot of people don't consider that because, see, you think it's just as long as I keep these commandments. Well, he gave you a commandment over that house. It's commandments that pertain to that house. So if you didn't keep those commandments, guess what? Now you're going to have to suffer a consequence for that. But we see that's the point of why I be on you about reading it comprehensively. You would know that. You would know that. You know what I'm saying? So you would know, yeah. You got to know what, because if somebody do something and it ain't permissible and you let it slide, you're going to answer for that. Because why you let that go on in here? Because he ain't gonna want to hear about it, but no, I put you in charge though. Now notice I said congregational wise, not in somebody's house. You ain't got no control and you're not responsible for what a nigga do in his house, but you responsible for what go on in his house. When I say his house, I'm talking about Elohim's house. You responsible for that. Can't let people run amok. Can't let people do whatever they want. Can't let that happen in there. Because you're gonna answer for that. On top of whatever you preached and taught. You're going to answer for that. People don't consider that. You wasn't around, Sivo. This is a long, long time ago. We had, I think, the library on university, man. This one woman, she a witch now, you know. That's wild. You know what I mean? And they were talking, either way it go, it got onto the aspect of, why I submit to your husbands. And I was like, people hear that and they don't realize, baby, that's not a request. This is an instruction you got from your God that is being spoke upon by an emissary of his. Now I say that now you sit back and look at that and you're gonna think it's compulsory when you feel like it's compulsory, not weighing and understanding the aspect of he don't care about what type of man your husband was or wasn't. He not gonna ask you about none of that. Because you know what his question gonna be to you? Why you ain't do what I told you to do? Well, my husband, I ain't asked you about what your husband got to do but what I told you to do. You know what I'm saying? Because he say submit to your husband is unto the who. So that means you're supposed to see him as if you seen the Lord, regardless if he was behaving like the Lord or not. What that got to do with you and what he told you to do. And that's when you get the aspect of you was doing it for men and not for the Lord. Because it tell you that in another epistle. Do all things as unto the Lord and not unto men. And I mention that because when your heart is set on doing it for the Lord, you are unconcerned about the behavior of other people. That ain't got nothing to do with me, nor has anything to do with the service that I'm going to render, because this is what my God has required of me. And I'm mentioning that because you think you're not going to answer for that. But you're going to answer for that. And I'm not saying that as a means as people use submission as a way to oppress a woman, because the same way that he say, man, you got to love your wife as Mashiach loved his, and that man going to answer for that too. He got to answer for that too. And that answering for that is not, no emotional lovey-dovey type stuff, man. You know what I'm talking about? Because he gave you an edict what to do with her. And if you don't do that, then you're going to answer for that too. But people don't answer that. As long as I don't eat no pork, I'm good. As long as I keep the Sabbath, I'm good. Man, you treat you abusive to your wife verbally. You're doing this, that, and the third. Number one, he said, if you do that, you hate yourself. Let's let that be known. But even if we ain't know no word, we would know, nigga, you have to hate yourself if you made this woman your wife and you calling her out a name and you slapping her up. And you doing it, you got to hate yourself. Because why would you marry somebody just to do that to them? You got to despise yourself. You got to have a mental problem. Yeah, but you're going to answer for that. And nobody tells nobody that. So guess what they put the caveat? This is men and women. See, she don't submit to me, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't going to do all that. Well, just know you probably going to go to hell, cuz. Because he didn't say if your wife does this, or if your wife does that, if your wife does this. We hear that with a lot of times in modern times. When he submit to the Lord, I submit to him. That's not what he told you. That's not what he told you. Now, I feel for you if you like Abigail and you married to a Nabal. I feel your pain. You know what I'm talking about? But nevertheless, he never said his instructions were ever based on what other people are doing. And we're going to think that that's going to be a valid excuse to use when the books get open, and that man ain't going to want to hear that. Well, I can tell somebody say, well, what if he beating on me? Baby, you supposed to leave the first time he hit you. Because you're not obligated by the Lord to stay in a situation like that. And the sad part when that stuff come up, the only thing people worrying about, can you marry somebody else? Not the fact that you need to get away from a man who's beating on you. You worry about if you could get another husband. Why are you worried about that versus not letting this bastard kill you? Because I can guarantee you right now, I'm not thinking about can you remarry somebody. Baby, you need to get away from that man before he seriously injures you. Now, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Nigga punch you one time, slap you one time. Baby, you need to leave. And ain't nothing to discuss. I don't want to hear I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear no context. Because I tell both of these babies in here, Muffin and Joanne, man, if you with a nigga and he put his hands on you, come back home. You know what I'm talking about? There's nothing that you have to discuss. Just come on back to the house. We'll figure if you got stuff and we need to go get it, we'll figure out how to go get it or we'll replace it. But come on back to the house. Ain't nothing to discuss. Call the police on that nigga and come on back to the house, man. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to go to no shelter, none of that, because a lot of ladies don't have no support when it comes to that there. Now, I'm just putting that out there. God forbid that be the reality for any of you men who got daughters, but that's what you need to let your daughter know. Hey, man, if you fooling with a nigga and this nigga put his hands on you, come back home. That's it. Just come back to the house. Ain't nothing to talk about, and we ain't got to sort nothing out. Just come on back to the house. Just come on back to the house. Period, point blank. That she need to know that if it got that serious, she can come on back to the house. Hell, if you got a son and he dealing with a woman who crazy as hell, throwing pots and pans and doing all this stuff, son, just come on home, son. Just come on home. Just get your stuff, come on back to the house. We'll sort all that out later. You don't need to stay in that. Come on back to the house. You see what I'm saying? If they know they can come back home and they got support like that, then they'll be less than likely who are willing to sit around in a situation like that and be beaten on. A lot of women stay in that situation because they genuinely believe they don't have anywhere to go. Whether that's the reality or not, they genuinely believe that. So they stay there. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you ladies right now, you say you serve God, and that nigga say he served God, and he put his doggone dick beaters on you, baby, you need to go. Ain't nothing to talk about. And I can tell you right now, if you call me talking about he hit me, what should I do? Leave. That's the answer you're going to get. You ain't going to get nothing else from me, man. I don't want to hear no detail. Once you say that nigga hit me, my answer is going to be leave. I don't care about nothing else after that. I don't want to hear nothing else after that. I don't want to hear why he did it. I don't want to hear none of that. And if that's not what you want to hear, don't call me. Call somebody else then. Because that's what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you to leave. I'm going to tell you to leave and call the police. Period, point blank. I ain't got nothing else for you. I ain't got nothing else for you. I don't understand nothing. I don't want to understand nothing. I don't want to hear no way, maybe it ain't that. I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear none of that. Because if you hit me with all that, I'm going to tell you, I hope he hits you again. And I hope the next time he kick. Because you should leave. Because clearly you like that. Don't call me about stuff like that and you're going to stay in it. You know what I'm talking about? Because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear that. You should leave. You should leave. I don't want to hear nothing about nothing. Get out of there. Why you staying there? You don't love yourself? You don't respect yourself? You don't value yourself? Because you got to value yourself enough to know. Don't nobody who say they love you going to put their hands on you, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why I be on y'all about, man, whooping them children should be the last resort because you say you love your children. And you should be able to correct, guide, and instruct your children without putting your hands on them. You know what I'm saying? That should be the last resort for you to put your hands on them. If you swift to, I don't care, child or adult, if you swift to put your hands on somebody you say you love, do you really love them, man? Your instance is that I'm going to come with violence? Nigga, you think that's normal? When you read the word, that's not what Yahuah do. He say wrath don't work the righteousness of God. Ain't that what it say? He say he's slow to wrath. He say he that swift to wrath is a fool. So come on, man. Nah, man. No, that's not what it do. Baby, you better dip. And I mean that too. I ain't being funny, man. Don't call me if you ain't finna leave. Because I ain't gonna lie to you. If it was that bad and you felt like you ain't had nowhere to go, you come here. I tell you that right now. You know what I'm talking about? Or you come here. And and then they come around here, man. He gonna go in there. He gonna go in the back of a cruiser. He gonna go meet the Lord. Yeah, don't come to my front door talking about this, that, there, and the third. Man, you talk to that woman somewhere else. Don't you come over here. My wife and my children in here. Don't you come over here with that. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know what y'all got going on. I don't care what you got going on. That woman say you put her hands on her, she can stay here till she ready to dip. But you ain't finna come to my front door with that. And guess what? That's how every one of you men should feel about that. If any woman who say she in the word come to you talking about my husband putting his hands on me, you should be ready to shoot. Here's an escape route right here. Straight up and down. It shouldn't even be no thought in your brain. And I'm calling the police on you too, cuz. If you come to my door, you're going to jail. I ain't being funny. I'm not finna play with you. You ain't finna be acting no fool over here. You going to jail, nigga. Trespass this nigga. Because the next time you going to come pick him up. He ain't going to walk away. You going to come pick him up. We got something for him. You know what I'm saying? About a good 8-9 inches serrated. Now you know about that? You stab that nigga in his face. You know what I'm talking about? You ever seen a nigga get stabbed in his face? Stab that nigga in his eye. Come around here like this here, man. My children in here. My old lady in here. But we have to be ready to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's part of the job. Now, of course, you don't read stuff like that in the text about women getting beat on. That's not to say that it didn't happen during that time. You just don't read about it. Text silent on that. Come on, Zuko. Where we at? That's real, that Barry, man. But I say that because, and when I say that too, don't be no damn pervert either, my nigga. You know what I'm talking about? Try to use that woman in a vulnerable situation to get your little pee-pee wet. Straight up though, Rohan. You know what I'm saying? Be a real nigga, man. Because them women should know that they had that type of support system. They won't stay around there and let nobody beat on them. Go ahead, man.
We're in verse 15.
Or what?
Esther 2.
Go ahead.
It said, now when the turn of Esther, the daughter of Abihail, the uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her for his daughter, was come to go in unto the king, she required nothing, but with Haggai the king's chamberlain, the keeper of the woman appointed. And Esther obtained favor in the sight of all them that looked upon her.
That's right. So Esther
was taken unto King Xerxes into his house, royal in the 10th month,
which is in the
month Tebeth, in the 7th year of his reign. And the king loved Esther above all the women. She obtained grace and favor in his sight more than all the virgins.
So
that he set the royal crown upon her head and made her queen.
Now you can look at this in the testimony of Yahuah, because the Father, this is my beloved Son, in whom I'm well pleased. We just read in Psalms 45, grace is poured in your lips, and he got favor in the sight of all the virgins. In this instance, who would be all the virgins? If we talking about this, the testimony of the Lord.
Would be the Malachians?
Indeed. Remember, he said you obtain, we read it in Psalms 45, you obtain the oil of gladness above all your fellows. Hold on. Bro, say, how would you assess a marriage when the woman is stepping out? She did it twice, put her hands on her husband. That nigga crazy if you stayed. If that was your sister acting that way, how would you handle that relationship if you heard? If I heard my sister acting that way, I'd be like, what's wrong with you, ho? You done lost your damn mind. But I wouldn't even have no thoughts for her. I'd be looking at the cuz like, why you still with her? She putting her hands on you? She done cheated on you? You still staying with her? Now I say on an effective level, my sister can't come to my house. You can't come over here. Because I don't I mean, it's nothing more than because you don't really have no control over that. I don't co-sign, stamp, or approve anything you're doing. But to that man, I'd be like, bro, why you need to leave her alone. Why you still fooling with her? She sleeping with other dudes. She putting her hands on you. You still there? You must like that. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, this nigga stupid. You know, like Roy say, why are you so dumb? Why are you dumb? Why you so dumb? Nah, bro. You ain't finna be playing. Well, he's and 9 times out of 10, he probably stayed because he probably got low self-esteem. You know what I'm saying? And he don't respect himself enough to be like, you're not finna do me like this. You know what I'm talking about? All right, man, listen, man. Because it's a nuanced thing, right? You could be with a woman. She could mess with another man. You might feel like, you know what? We can work past it. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Same way, man could be with another woman. Woman feel like, you know what? We could get past that. That's fine. But you did it again with a different nigga? Oh, no. You know what I'm talking about? Baby, ain't no strike 3. You strike 3 when you did that. Then you couple that, you putting your hands on me. Now, me, myself, personally, I ain't dealing with no woman who gonna raise her voice at me or put her hands on me. I ain't gonna do it. And it's just for the simple fact, as I said before, my mama ain't yell at me like that. My mama ain't never called me out my name. My mama ain't never cursed me. So I'm not finna let you do it. The same way if a woman say, you know, hey, my daddy ain't yell at me like that or call me out my name. You know what I'm saying? I can't have no problem with that. And she like, you ain't finna cuss me out. Some people come from families where everybody cussed each other out, so they think it's normal. You know what I'm saying? But my mama ain't talk to me like that. So you're not finna talk to me like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, you feel you upset, your tone disrespectful, I'm gonna tell you, man, get yourself together and then come talk to me, man. But we can't have no conversation that you talking to me like that, because I'm not gonna allow or tolerate the disrespect. I'm not. I refuse. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not me. Who? I'll be by myself before I let you talk to me like that. You know what I'm saying? If nigga wasn't in no word, boy, I'm talking about, boy, I would snatch the skin off my meat masturbating before I stay with a woman for quarters to let you talk to me like that. Like Uncle Willie used to say, "Shoot, beat it till it bleed." I'm not for no, oh no, absolutely not. You know what I'm talking about? You not finna talk to me like that. And listen, a woman I ain't having sex with ain't finna talk to me. I'm not even finna engage in conversation with a woman who is verbally disrespectful. Simply because I'm not finna engage with a man who's verbally disrespectful. So why would I do that with you? See, if it's some type of conflict with your woman, at least you having sex with her, and you know what I'm saying, and y'all got something going on. I ain't necessarily desirable of doing that, but at least you know what I'm saying, man. I ain't having no type of coitus with you. I ain't got. You think I'm finna argue and go back and forth with you, baby? You were dumb as the day you were born. You know what I'm talking about? Oh no, oh no. What I look like? I'm finna go back and forth with a woman I ain't affiliated with in that capacity. Man, I wish I would, man. If I would do that there, I would hope that the Lord would give life to Rosalind Renee Bonton to come up out of her grave and walk over here and slap the fire at me and then go back in that grave and lay down and take her rest. Because, boy, I did not teach you that right there. What is you doing? You know what I'm talking about? Like straight up and down, man, nigga, you tripping. Yeah, he tripping. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. That just threw me. And she hitting you? All jokes aside, though, I draw the line at violence, man. If you want to deal with somebody after there's been some things of infidelity, that's your choice, that's your business. I can only tell you what I would do and how I see it. I'm not really here to get in the middle of that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna necessarily say you idiot, you fool. I'd be like, I wouldn't do that personally. You know what I'm saying? But that's you. But that hitting though, that putting their hands on, and that verbal disrespect, absolutely not. You know what I'm talking about? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You know what I'm talking about? Because I'm going to tell you something, man. Somebody who can put their hands on you and disrespect you verbally, that's not going to stop. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to stop. That's how they handle conflict. You know what I'm saying? Calling you out your name, you all type of FNs, and you know what I'm saying? And bands and pans, you know what I'm talking about? And you calling this woman female dogs and hoes and all this other type of stuff, and you stupid Mitch and all that ain't, man. Look here, man. That's not normal, bro. That's not normal, bro. Beloved, that's not normal. It's not. It's not. It's not. And putting hands on, definitely not. That's what you gotta draw that boundary right there. Call it a day. No, sir. No, ma'am. Absolutely not. Like I said, infidelity, that's a personal choice. If that's something that you can deal with, you know what I'm saying? And if you know you can't deal with that, you need to leave that person alone. Just let it, you know what I'm saying? Just leave them alone, let it be. It's over. You know what I'm talking about? But oh God, no. Come on, Silvo, that just threw me. I wasn't expecting that.
Verse 18. So then the king made a great feast unto all his princes and his servants, even Esther's feast. And he made a
he made a what?
Made a great feast unto all his princes and his servants.
And he made a what?
A release to the provinces and gave gifts according to the state of the king.
Now what y'all think verse 18 talking about? Listen again, the king made a what?
A great feast unto all his princes.
And his who?
His servants.
Even
Esther's feast.
And made a
release to the provinces.
And gave
gifts according to the state
now
of
do
the
me
king.
a favor, man. Tell him what Esther's feast mean, man. Then tell him we'll give him that release, man. I know y'all probably like, man, I don't want to hear that junk that nigga talking about today. Well, nigga, you heard it.
Esther means star, and then
so if you got star, of course you know.
And the feast is just mistake. That's a feast, a drink, or a banquet.
So of course you know if you got star, we could think about Kokar, progeny of a Masha. Do me another favor, Silvo, because we ain't rich. Go to verse 7. Tell him what a dasa means.
That's myrtle.
Go ahead.
And then
give me what release means, man. You've been released.
That is Hanukkah, a day of rest, a holiday, a giving of rest, holiday making.
A giving of rest. What do y'all ascertain from verse 18? What can you derive from verse 18? You got something from verse 18, Sibo? Let me hurry up and get this wrapped up, man, so you get back to that baby, man. I know Doris woke, because I know that boy ain't sleep. That boy fresh, man. He fresh to the world, man. You got to see what's going on.
Trying to get acclimated.
You know what I'm saying? It's light out here. It was dark where I was at. You know what I'm talking about? It wasn't no light in there, man. All of a sudden, the Lord said, let there be light. I was in the world. You feel me? Anybody got anything out of that before I share that? Ain't nobody got nothing, man. Well, obviously, you should have heard unleavened bread in that because it said the king. So then you know that'll take us back something that we done read in Isaiah 21, you know what I'm saying? Which relates to what's in Matthew 26. Made a great feast unto all his princes being an apostle. That's why Isaiah 21 come in at. And his servants, even Esther's feast. And what is Passover referred to now in Son Ezra? The Lord's Supper. You know what I'm talking about? And he made a release. What release meant again?
That was a day of rest.
A day of rest. And he called you to rest from all your sins and iniquities. Because what did he say? He came to make an end to sins, to finish the transgression, to make reconciliation for iniquity, to anoint the most Kadash, and to bring in everlasting righteousness. And then he gave gifts because he took captivity captive and gave gifts unto men, according to the state of the king. Tell him what state is, man.
That's Yah.
According to the arm of the king. The right hand of the king, to be specific. My God, today. That's Yahushua all day, ain't it, man? So come on, verse 19.
Saying, when the virgins were gathered together the second time, then Mordecai sat in the king's gate. Esther had not yet showed her kindred nor her people, as Mordecai had charged her. For Esther did the commandment of Mordecai, like as when she was brought up with him.
Notice it said Esther had not showed her kindred nor her people. What Yahushua didn't show them people. He didn't show who he was, and when people seen who he was, what he said, don't tell nobody. Come on.
In those days, while Mordecai sat in the king's gate, two of the king's chamberlains, Bigthan and Teresh, of those which kept the door, were wroth, and sought to lay hand on the king's Xerxes.
And when the thing was known
to Mordecai, who told it unto Esther the queen, and
Esther
certified the king in Mordecai's name.
And when inquisition
was made of the matter, it was found out. Therefore, they were both hanged on a tree.
My God, today.
It was written in the Chronicles before the king.
Now I want you to let's see what Bigthan and Teresh name mean. We're gonna get on off here. I'll reiterate Psalms 45, and then we got
Bigthan, that's in their wine press.
And
then in Teresh, that is strictness.
You said strictness? Now look at that. In the wine press and strictness get hung from a tree. And now you know, y'all willing, I'm gonna hold that for tomorrow. You know what I'm talking about? I want you to stew on that. But when we come over here to verse 14 of Psalms 45 that I told you to ponder upon, when she brought unto the king, she shall be brought unto the king in the raiment of needlework. The virgins, her companions that follow, shall be brought unto you. And you sit back and you look at that, right? And we look at that from a testimonies aspect. You know, the king's daughter in this instance can, be relative to referring to Yahushua HaMashiach. He shall be brought to the king with the raiment of needlework, right? You know what I'm saying? And then the virgins, her companions that follow her, shall be brought unto you. And what did he tell you to do to him? Follow him, correct? And we talk, what is a virgin? But one who is not going to get it to him. 2 Corinthians 11:3.
Verse 2, where it says,
verse 2. Yeah.
Say, for I'm jealous over you with godly jealousy, for I've espoused you to one husband, that I may present you as a chaste virgin to a Mashiach.
Don't give him chaste virgin again.
Chaste is hagnos, exciting reverence, venerable, sacred.
So remember, this is some proper respect.
And virgin is Parthenos, a virgin, a marriageable maiden, a woman who has never had sexual intercourse with a man, one's marriageable daughter, a man who has abstained from all uncleanness and whoredom, attended on idolatry.
Abstain from all uncleanliness and whoredom that pertains to idolatry. So those who follow or companions of the king's daughter or companion of Yahushua HaMashiach in this particular needlework, because we're looking at that because of all those women who were companion with Esther. You know what I'm talking about? They follow after. And now this is representative of those who've kept themselves from idols. Remember, we ended in 1 John 5. Little children, keep yourself from idols. How do we keep ourselves from idols? Because we know the Son of Elohim is coming, giving us an understanding that we may know him that is true, that we're in him that is true. Even his son, Yahushua HaMashiach. This is the true Elohim and what? Eternal life. You know what I'm talking about? So how do you keep yourself from idolatry? Well, obviously, we read one of the definitions. That's to keep yourself from bowing down to images so that you can be the king's daughter's companion to follow after her. And then, of course, you know, good old Ezekiel 14. Now, you ain't got to go around that city because y'all should know by now, if you've been around here long enough, we talk about Ezekiel 14 all the time. And he tell you that I may take the house of Yasharal in their own heart because they are estranged from me, from their idols. And thus say unto the house of Yasharal, thus saith Yahuah Elohim, repent and turn yourselves from your idols and turn away your faces from all your abominations. For every one of the house of Yasharal or that stranger that sojourn in Yasharal will separate himself from me and set up idols in his heart, putting the stumbling block of his iniquity before his face. And that, my friends, is the biggest piece of idolatry that the majority of people participate in. It's that they have laid up idols in their heart. And those idols are not necessarily images that you're bowing down to. Idols here is Galul, Gamal, Lamad, U, and Lamad. And it is simply an idol. Simply an idol. Now, I can give you the English definition of idol as we get ready to proceed to step away from here to conclude services for the evening. But when you look at an idol, it's an image or representation of a god used as an object of worship or a person or thing that is greatly admired or loved. So when we sit back and look at this here, right? Another instance is it's anything physical or conceptual that takes the place of God in a person's heart, demanding worship. Remember, worship would be to bow down or to give reverence or respect to, trust or affection instead of the one true God. And that's what we have to look at when you look at making idols in your heart. You know what I'm saying? And that goes back to what we were talking about there ain't no balance. As harsh as that may sound, I don't say things of this nature to be provocative, to be a Debbie Downer, if you would. You know what I'm talking about? It's simply the reality of the situation that we have the proper perspective. If the gift of eternal life and the salvation which is showed forth itself in the redemption and the personage of the body of Yahushua HaMashiach, who was raised from the dead, to be able to give us the gift of Ruach HaKodesh, that we may be like him at his coming. Yeah, that's what it is, man. You know what I'm talking about? And there is no in between. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because he said anyone who's a friend of the world is an enemy of God. So if you're a friend of those who are alienated from God and hostile to his purpose, there's no way that you could be friends with him and you be a cod with him and a proponent of his purpose. Now, people could take that and can do whatever they want to with it. You know what I'm saying? And why do I always say you can take it and do whatever you want to with it? Because you have to learn to emotionally separate yourself from being angry about what the people do or don't do. Because like when you take what you read in Mark, when he said he became angry. But why did he say he became angry? Because of the hardness of their hearts. Because y'all really hate hate my father. And of course, this was an instance where he was trying to heal them. You don't even have compassion, care, or good. See, everybody getting angry about doctrines. He didn't get angry about that. You know what I'm saying? That's right. You're a faithless and perverse generation. How long should I suffer you? You know what I'm saying? And we don't want to go out like that because we are so concerned with the wrong thing. You feel me? But hallelujah for Yahushua in the world. I appreciate y'all time this evening. I bless y'all in the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. Y'all willing, we'll be back with it on tomorrow. Yes, sir, Rohan. Hold it down, my G. Y'all willing tomorrow, man, I'll discuss with you about what we're going to be for Passover and the things that pertain to that. Because if the Lord permit, that could be, Shalom, Sister Regina, amen. That could be an extended stay. Amen, Brother Marvin. Love you too, man. Hold it down. And so therefore, as it pertains to that, or there has to be drastic overhauls in conduct and execution, or I'm just going to tell you plainly, you're going to have to stay to the house. You know what I'm saying? You're just going to have to stay to the house. Ain't going to be no way around that. Because strict adherence, Yahuah Baruch, make a strict adherence and execution have to be done in this particular environment. You know what I'm talking about? And I mean strict. You know what I'm saying? Ain't really ain't to be a douchebag about it. It just situation dictates that. But nevertheless, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all. Bless y'all the house out here in the name of Yahushua, man. Y'all willing till tomorrow. We'll be back at it. You dig? All right, Clubhouse, man. We is out of here.